Hi everyone, welcome to Zelda Speedruns. Today we have an Ocarina of Time Randomizer weekly race. Very exciting. We have league settings this week. Tracking today you have me and Tom will talk. And on commentary we have Hyper and Out of This World Burrito. And they will take it from here.
Okay, thank you very much, Baseball. Hi everybody, welcome to Saturday. We're all feeling hyped for these league settings on this Kokiri Weekly. For anyone who might not be familiar, the weeklies, they happen every week, hence the name. And there's 4 of them in different time slots. This is Kokiri. And right now, weeklies are on what's going to be the League 8 season settings. So you're going to be getting basically a preview here, if you haven't seen them already, of what league settings are going to be like. And they're pretty fun. I've done a few seeds, and I've watched a few of these runners do some. Specifically, I watched Alpha do a few. And commentating with me, Hyper, you've done some leagues, haven't you?
I sure have. Yeah, these are exciting settings. The big thing about League, I think, is required only settings. So we're only going to need the parts of the seed that are logically required to beat it. So you can get locked out of stone dungeons. You can have some keys in some funny places. We were talking earlier about a gold scale being on Lab Dive. So some fun stuff like that can definitely happen in League.
Yeah, it adds a good, for those who are able to decipher it, a good way to read hint logic and paths for information that you wouldn't see available in Season 8. Similarly, you're going to see some hint differences. We have 5 path hints. However, instead of foolishes, we have major items. So when our runners find a major items hint, that's going to tell them how many major items are in an area, and it could be anywhere from 0 to however many are there. And I think those are also really fun.
Yeah, this is a brand new hint type for at least standard racing. Yeah, they kind of replace foolish hints. So you might get market has 0 important checks, and that's basically the equivalent of a foolish market. But you also might get GTG has 4 major items, and they can be Nehru's Love, they can be BGS, or they could be Bomb Bag, things like that. So really cool new hint type. It really changes the way that you route the seed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to think what else is new to this season. Songs can't be hinted path anymore in this season. And key rings in dungeons now. So boss keys are still separate from key rings, but there's now just all the small keys are in one bundle in all dungeons. So that's pretty cool. It makes dungeons a lot stronger. It makes Water Temple scary. It makes Fire Temple scary.
Well, also makes some checks kind of scary too. A really good example is one that maybe upset me a little bit is I went to GTG and my key ring was past the Song of Time block. And guess what was on all dungeons? So I'm like, well, I'm not getting that key ring. So yeah, it gives you a lot more to check, but also gives you some other things to think and potentially worry about. But also you might see that and go, well, guys, I don't need to be here. So you just leave.
Yeah. And the cool thing about League is it's got a lot of quality of life settings as well. So, it's got free Scarecrow, it's got Rudo on F1. You start with the lens, you start with Feroz Wind. So it's meant to be a more a less difficult in a sense, but also more enjoyable for from a casual play point as well. So skill levels can range from top 32 players to Challenge Cup right down to beginners. And if you don't know what League is, it's 1v1 matches against people of similar skill level to you. So if you haven't seen this before and you're interested and want to sign up, sign-ups are open right now. And you won't be playing, if you're new, you won't be playing any of these people on Restream. You'll be playing people new like yourself.
Yeah, we're looking at players right now who could... I think the lowest anyone here would go is Division 3, but I think these are all Division 1s and 2s easily.
Yeah, exactly. I think, 3 of these people were in top 32, and 1 of them was in Challenge Cup. So really strong Restream here.
Mm-hmm. It looks like they're getting started, having entered in the password, and here we go. Looks like Child Start is Kakariko Village entrance, and something different from Season 8 is Child Start and Adult Spawn are both randomized. So when they go adult, we'll be seeing them save and reset to also check that out. But it looks like instead of going in Kakariko, they turn around and go back going to Lon Lon looks like for Cola and Flea and Volk, where Alpha is actually staying in CAC and is going to check those chickens first.
Yeah, this is the nice thing about starting with a full wallet as well. You don't have to worry about farming money early game. You just head wherever you want to go, which is nice. I like doing these chickens first. You can check Skull House as well. Get the hints nice and early. Prescription.
Yeah, it's like we're already finding prescription off Anju. Cool. And we're going to see our Skulltula hints here, which 30, 40, and 50 are still hinted in these settings, and 10 and 20 are hidden, so we won't know what those are until they get them. Like 40 might be dead, 30's dead, and finally 50 is also dead, so we're not going to be worrying about anything above 20 for Skulltulas. And while the runners start with Prelude, that's part of the settings. You'll always have Prelude in these settings, which makes that child spawn sting a lot less. So you see Alpha, after getting chickens, checking skulls, Prelude straight over to market. It's going to get some more hints here while the other 3 start checking chickens, which they're getting Mirror Shield off Talon. So that's going to be very nice to have, potentially, if it go in Spirit. We're getting hints there on Alpha that I missed. All I saw was Trees, Paths, and Morpha.
That's the only one I saw. We need chat to help.
Alpha getting baited into buying the shield for skipping
Lon. Oh, no!
The rupees. And then Malon's going to teach us Sun Song. Helps with time of day management, but we like to get some mobility here sooner. Let's see how good Alpha is at shooting gallery. Off stream, I get shooting gallery 100% of the time, first try. On stream, must be nerves, man. I always miss it.
Sometimes it's just hard.
Especially slingshots. That slow projectile, man, always throws me off.
Yeah. That's another nice quality of life as well. You don't have to play songs when you're learning them. You just collect them like items as well. So, yeah, just some cool things in League that I really like. It just helps speed up the seeds. I think for like top players, like you probably see an average finish time of 2 hours, and I think for like more newer players, you probably see like 2.5 to 3, maybe even longer. But you're not going to sit around forever, I don't think. I think these settings are really nice to, it's not a slog to finish the seed.
No, absolutely. And we did get bottom of the well till Fovegia as a path, so that should be something that we're going to definitely see later. And it looks like we're finally getting our medallion information of Uzi, Kolaf, and Flea go adult. Volk deciding to do some market cleanup, and Alpha now heading up probably towards Lon Lon to grab that song after grabbing some more rupees after spending it on the shield. But it looks like our medallions today are Queen Goma's got our Shadow. Hold on, I'm reading hints. Okay, Ocarina of Time's Bolero. And then something was to Rova, and I read it and then I forgot it.
It was Graveyard. Graveyard to Rova.
Thank you. Alright. Graveyard to Rova. Well, we already found our Mirror Shield.
Yeah, so it's likely going to be a strength in Graveyard, which is nice.
Mm-hmm. Now in these settings,
with Night Market.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
Richard. So in these settings, you can still have items on path that lead to other items, right? So if you go to the Graveyard and actually find Bow, and that's path to Twin Rova, maybe strengths behind Bow.
Yeah, still works that way. It's just songs can't be directly hinted as path. Like similar to how ZL has never been allowed to be hinted directly. It's now all songs, but they can still be indirectly hinted. Like a bomb bag could lead to Song of Storms or something like that.
Now, can songs be hinted as major items? So, like, if Kakariko Village has 2 major items, could one of them be song? All right, that's very good information to know then for people knocking out CAC checks. You don't want to get gaslit into checking a 20 skull if you don't have to.
Yeah, I've been baited before. I got a Hyrule Field, has 1 important check, and I forgot about Ocarina of Time song. So I cleared Hyrule Field and found nothing.
That's a good one, because I had Hyrule Field at 2, and I found Dins, and then I looked in Diving Grotto and saw Deku Nuts, so I just assumed it was capacity, but totally forgot it could be song.
Yeah, so capacity still counts as not a major item. It feels like a major item, but it wouldn't actually count towards one, so...
I know. Oh, I count capacity alongside BGS. I know BGS counts, which is why I think about it. But speaking of an actual real major item, here's Kokiri's Sword and Windmill for Cola.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess the best way to think about the major items is it's anything that you would find in a big chest is a major item, plus the songs. That's the easiest way to think about it.
That's a good way to remember it.
Nice divergence here. We're getting everyone doing some different things.
With Cola, Flea, and Volk taking basically the same start, I expected them to be falling in step for a little while, but, we're getting CAC play. Volk went off and did a few other things as child before going to adults. Now just entering CAC, you have Flea doing River. Everyone loves a good River.
Yep.
Harrowfield has one major item. There you go. So if it's Harrowfield with one major item and Bolero is on Ocarina of Time, would that be Bolero?
That's it. Yeah. So the rest of Harrowfield is dead. The only reason we'd want to go there is for hints, but it's not really worth that time investment now. So that's good.
And Flea also just pulled Shoes out of Open Grotto and River. So River looking like it's paying off.
Yeah, the River play, the classic. So otherwise, like pretty standard openers. I think Alpha's really the only one that's doing something a little bit more different. Everyone else is kind of doing like the Lon Lon Ranch song, CAC. We saw Flea divert to River, but heading to CAC now. So yeah, we'll see if Alpha comes up with anything. Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about also before the restream. Because of some of the rule settings, so one of the quality of life rules implemented is Scarecrow's song is just, you just know it. There's a bottle and graveyard box. So since you just know Scarecrow's song, Child Lake obviously has one thing important removed from it. And then if you don't have scale, you can't really get, Rua's letter item, and so then it's like, when do you do fishing at that rate? So maybe Alpha's just making sure that he doesn't orphan anything that's convenient. I don't think we're going to see a mark out to Lake Hylia, but that might be part of that mentality.
Yeah, I think Alpha might have had a seed recently where Graveyards burned him or something like that. So he's like, I'm not letting it happen on restream.
Oh, sure. I had the inverse where I checked Graveyard early and Dampe's like, here's a hammer. I'm like, oh, cool.
Ooh, Dampe's
Dampe
loaded.
with a bomb bag.
Right.
And a blue shirt. All right, well, the bomb bag.
Yeah, now it's trendy. Now your shirt matches your bomb bag. It's perfect.
So we had Graveyard to Path to Twin Rova. Could that be bomb bag?
Yeah, definitely could. Is DC a medallion or a stone?
Dodongo's Cavern is a stone. It should be Kokiri's Emerald.
Okay, perfect. So because KD is a stone, that bomb bag can be passed to other dungeons. But because DC the only real requirement is bomb bag for KD, if it was a medallion, it probably wouldn't be able to be hinted.
Okay,
for other dungeons, anyway.
And then if we find another like Sphere Zero bomb bag, that might also throw that path off, right?
Yeah, exactly. It could be other things, but we're running out of things left in Graveyard because the song doesn't count. It's really only the Composer Torches left because we just saw Alpha do Dampe and Sunsong Grave.
Yep. Alpha really showed us the Graveyard path. And now we have Cola going back to Child 2 for the first time. Lee still working on Adult. CAC now and Volk now getting a Graveyard themselves.
Yeah.
And it looks like Alpha is going to Kokiri.
Looks like the adult spawn was just outside Lon Lon Ranch, which I don't know. It's not a great spawn. It's not terrible. It's like you're in the center of everything. So, but it's a lot of walking wherever you want to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And since we start with Prelude in these settings, getting close to market's not that appealing.
Yeah.
We usually want to get somewhere that's harder to reach. Like a fun one is always Gerudo Valley, because it's like, when am I going to come here? But, if it's my start, I can check it whenever.
Yeah. The cool thing is, like, when we get Epona's initial spawn position is right outside Lon Lon Ranch. So if players remember that, they can save quit, and Epona's just waiting there. They don't even have to play the song.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because we know Epona loves to get stuck in dumb places sometimes. Frogs was Red Rupee, I think?
Yeah, I think it was dead.
Yeah, from Alpha Stream, and we're getting a peek at Bomb Chew Bowling, which looks like the first one is dead. Let's see what's on the second one. And also dead. No bowling today. Alpha going to jump the kid. See, Alpha knows what to look for. I just wing this one.
Yeah. Everyone's got different setups.
Yeah. That's what separates me and Alpha besides 100 other things. All right, so we're going to see SFM soon. Yeah. Also, I'm just taken back by Alpha's mustard tunic. Oh, here's some more hints. Claim check's dead.
It's interesting we didn't see Cola take that bomb bag into DC. I guess, like, knowing that it's a stone dungeon, maybe just trying to put it off for a little bit longer. It's one of those dungeons that you still typically complete, like, 90% of the time, even when it's a stone.
Yeah, it's just fast and a lot of checks. And there's our first strength in Kakariko Redead Grotto. And opponent's song is off Saria's. And we got a hint for Anju, which we already knew what it was. So Cola definitely taken well, I have Serenade and I'm a child. I don't know when I'm going to do this. Let's just get fishing out of the way. And I like it.
Yeah.
Fishing's definitely one of the checks, I think, this season that's going to trip people up a lot of the time, specifically child fishing.
Yeah. This is also good from Cola. I think Cola's planning to head to Child Lost Woods. And this is the most efficient way to do it. Like, checks along the way. You get this out of the way one. You go through Hyrule Field. Although Hyrule Field is that we know it's foolish, so maybe it's not as good as I think it is.
I think if we didn't know it was foolish, it would be good. I'd agree with you.
This would be good, yeah.
Yeah. It lets you get a little lost stuff. Looks like Cole's gonna peek the Ruta's letter, and it looks like it was nothing because Cola turned away pretty fast. I couldn't tell. I'm looking at 4 perspectives, and they're all tiny. I need more pixel fidelity.
What's Cola doing? Maybe Cola doesn't have the Hyrule Field hint, because it looks like he's farming money for the scrub.
Yeah, that's what it looks like it is. Farming money is difficult in Lake, especially if you don't have Kokiri Sword. Cutting up all that grass sucks. Luckily, he had a full bomb bag, but yeah, that could be an annoying thing if you're short rupees and down on this side. But we do have Volk actually going into DC, so same mentality as you. Yeah, it's Kokiri's, he's just not using it. That's right. He went into Windmill and he's like, I'm not equipping this.
Yeah, and Flea looks like doing the same thing as well. Also heading up to DC.
Oh, looks like he's actually going all the way up to Goron City.
Okay.
Or at least just to get a peek into what's behind the bottom of the wall here.
Yeah, this might be a little loop, and maybe finish with DC.
Yeah. Yep, and there's this hint for the Sun Song, which we already saw was dead.
We also have a Lost Woods has one important check. I don't know if we spoke about that already, or we saw that.
We have not. I did write that earlier and wrote it down, and my only question on that is, some people get confused with areas that are nested, and I think Lost Woods and Sacred Forest Meadow is one of those. Another one's typically Gruer Fortress and Thieves Hideout. So Lost Woods is separate from Sacred Forest Meadow in the context of these hints, right?
That's right, yeah. So that, especially that grotto in SFM, is often associated with Lost Woods, but it is indeed separate.
Yeah. Burning Cax required? What was on it?
Requiem.
Never mind. Different shorthand. Requiem on Burning Cac. That's not as big of a deal logically in these settings since we start with a lens. So really all we're looking for logical crossing is magic, hover boots, and or long shot. These runners will all probably just do without looking anyways. But in terms of logic, you have a little bit more accessibility there. And looking back at our medallions, it looks like Burning Cack is behind Queen Goma or not Queen Goma, Phantom Ganon, Volvagia, and Morpha. So Burning Cack's going to be pretty late.
Yeah, it looks pretty buried. So we might have to cross, or Spirit's just really late.
Mm-hmm. I know, I say only, but there's 2 hook shots. Sure, you need both of them, but it's one less step logically than Season 8 was.
I like that. That's a really positive way to look at things.
Yeah, I gotta keep things positive on the upside.
Oh, the other cool setting that we didn't talk about as well is the treasure chest game. There's no more. You can't go for the 1 in 32 gamble anymore. There's been a new setting enabled where it forces you to have the lens and the magic in your inventory in order to get through that TCG. And that's just a nice way to balance like competitive racing, because there's been some seeds where they've been decided by someone getting extremely lucky. So
that is I could see how that's frustrating, but also I know there are viewers and players in the community who they live for the gamble. So I could also see like Tomo Talk and baseball already on a best setting, and that's dumb. So you're already seeing the dichotomy split. But while we were talking about that, Volk's finishing Dodongo, and Cola's just gone to Deku and fighting a big chest already, which is Rudo's letter. All right.
Rudo's letter. I don't know if we love that with Stone Jabu, but
I don't.
We'll take it. Yeah.
Well, we might need to get into Fountain, especially if there's something in ice. So I know KZ skip, but
yeah, we just
the letter can give you hints.
Yeah,
we jumped some weep here, but speaking of Ruda's letter to Zora's Fountain, one other setting that I mentioned earlier, might have been in the restream or before we started streaming, was basement is turned off. Rudo starts on floor 1. You don't have to do basement Rudo. So that does route out basically 1 gold Skulltula, but it routes back in like a minute and a half to 2 minutes of your life. So I'm for it.
It's very appreciated, I think.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Rudo floor 1's pretty good. She's like a princess anyways, right? Why stick her in the basement? Let's give her floor 1.
She used her feet for a little bit. She walked herself up there.
Yeah,
and then she's like, "I'm done. I'm tired. Can you carry me?"
She didn't fall in the first place. So use less feet. But Alpha is definitely getting his steps in now, doing Stone Dodongo's Cavern after Volk did. And then we have Cola now down in the Goma basement. Gonna steal Goma's another big chest. In that flame storage first. Let's see what's in the box.
Ooh.
Oh, hook shot. See? Logical Crossing's already 1 step closer.
Yeah, that's very nice.
So...
And we're a bow away from Forest as well.
Mm-hmm. Got another bottom of the well path for Vol, so there's a duplicate.
Okay.
Forest looking like a play. Forest is looking like a play, but I would agree with Hyper. Without a bow, Forest, you're not going to stay in it for very long, especially if you don't have a bow or Song of Time. Can't even get into Courtyard.
Yeah, and it is those settings like there's less chance of finding the keys, like because you could go the strength way as well and like go through the Courtyard from the top, but you've only got 2 checks that need to be your key rings, otherwise you get locked out. So yeah, I think waiting until a bow or Song of Time is probably the better play, unless you come across the hovers.
Yeah, I think dipping in these settings might be a little bit more punishing because of that key layout. You can't stretch with keys that far.
Yeah, exactly. And just to note, like the name of the weekly is just a name. It's not like it's got nothing to do with like Kokiri Forest or anything. It's just we've got 4 different weeklies, and they're not really like NA and EU slots anymore. They're just like times that kind of suit both. So these are just fancy names. So we've got Kokiri Weekly, Goron Weekly, Zora Weekly, and Gerudo Weekly. Just fancy names.
Yeah, and the weeklies, they run on settings often different than what's going on with tournaments. Right now, they are on Season 8 League settings. If you want to learn more, there's on Mito. If you go to Mitos.house, I don't know if we have a link for that, you can see the weeklies in the ongoing and upcoming races schedule. You can click there and learn more about them. I think, Hyper, you're technically an organizer of it, right?
Yeah, not for the weeklies, but yeah, I'm somewhat involved. But yeah, people that
your
are
name's on the page.
Organizing. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, people that are organizing, like Fennel, Oak, and Schulter from our 20 organ race mod team have been the driving force behind like organizing the weeklies at the moment.
It's much appreciated, especially ongoing during busy tournament seasons like Season 8 has been. We haven't gotten to have enough volunteers to run weekly restreams, but now that Season 8's calmed down a little bit, we can start squeezing them in.
Yeah, it's really nice. Good to show new settings. We had Soars recently, which was a lot of fun, but I think people are really enjoying the new league settings.
Yeah. It's okay, Oak. We'll give Hyper his flowers. We also want to give Baseball hers. She's been an organizer for League this season, so everyone think Baseball.
Hell yeah, Baseball's a goat.
I'm glad that we're having this conversation during Ocarina Memory Game for Cola, and Flea actually going out to Hyrule Field might have done that for the hint, or maybe they didn't get the important check yet for Hyrule Field.
I can see on Flea's tracker that he does have that hint. It could just be like wants more information as well. Also, I'm seeing on Flea's tracker that we have Kakariko Village has 6 major items.
Yeah, I didn't mention that when we were talking earlier. But yeah, 6 major items. So like our trackers have already kindly updated with the bot. We have 2 songs, Strength, Prescription, and Kokiri Sword.
Okay. All right. So yeah, just 1 to go. Okay, so that's not as overwhelming as I thought. I would be a little bit worried about Skulls having the 6th one though. So I might be thinking, okay, we have to do Skulls this seed.
Yeah,
because it can still be on that 10 and 20.
Yeah, I know. I think it was Cola was already up to 4 or Fleas. Somebody's been on top of the Skulls, but no one's really pushing them right now. It looks like Zora's Domain's path to something. I didn't read the second part.
And the other cool thing as well, Phantom Ganon. Yeah, the other cool thing as well is these important check hints. They do overlap with other hints. So like with the CAC important check hints, that does also include like the 30 and 40 and 50 skulls. So if you found like CAC only has 2 major items in it, you know that the rest of CAC's dead. You know, it's just got the 2 songs. You don't even have to check the skull house if you don't want to. That happened to me one time. I ruled out CAC. I didn't even check 30, 40, 50 hints. It's like, okay, they're dead. I don't even look at them.
And to Stark's point in chat, people were saying, you know, is this a jet seed? Well, to Hyper's point at the beginning, league settings are a bit zippier on average. Again, top runners are probably going to be closer to the sub 2 hour mark, where more mid-level runners might be 2.5, 3 hours on like the same kind of seed.
Yeah,
so they're definitely.
I think what you'll find is the definition of a jet seed for league. The benchmark time probably goes down to maybe an hour and a half for top players. So yeah, even though like average time might be 2 hours for like these runners on Restream, I wouldn't exactly call them jet seeds.
Nah,
they're just faster.
To IT guy's point,
just because of quality of life speed ups, beatable only settings, key rings, like it just speeds up a lot of things.
The seed's fast until it isn't.
That does happen too.
So we had Saria Song just give us Nocturne. So the Ice Cavern song is looking less and less important, which is good. We might be able to skip Ice this seed, but we still have Storms as a question mark, and we know we have to go to the bottom of the well. So right now our runners are probably, as they check more and more songs, they're like, uh-oh, where's Storms? I don't believe Medigoron is a licensed dispensary yet, not in these settings, but maybe in another one. Maybe we can make a request for scrubs. So we have Alpha in DMC after finishing Adult Goron City. Volk getting down to the basement, who's going to pull their... I think Hookshot was in this one. And then we have Cola playing Nocturne to get back at Cack immediately. Going to check the hint here, which there's our Burning Cack hint. And Flea's working through the top of Deku Tree. So we see Flea and Volk kind of ending up in the same places, just slightly staggered due to some routing decisions with Volk doing a few more in Child earlier, while Flea went Adult a little bit early and stretched for some other things. Alpha's been on a completely different path this entire time from these four.
Yeah, Alpha's been doing his own thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love to see it. Especially, that's one of the perks of the four perspective restream. Usually there's at least one person doing something different, even if they're all of equal skill level. So Cole's going to find his strength here, which might encourage him to chase the Zora's Domain path if he was the one who found that one. I can't keep straight who finds what. As we know, that Zora's Domain's path to Phantom Ganon, and now that we have strength, Hookshot, that's looking like a bow. Or something that leads to bow.
Yeah, you would expect so. We don't have logical like Forest Temple access yet. We're still missing Saria's and Minuet. So it could be like an item maybe to cross the wasteland, and it's on like the Requiem song or something silly like that. We've got Ruto's Letter, so it's not going to be Ice Cavern for that song access. But we also don't have ZL yet either, so it could be something that gives us ZL, and then maybe ZL gives us our Sarias or Minuet. But I'd like to think it's just a bow instead. Make things.
I like to think it's the bow too, because you proposing that ZL, that makes me go, okay, well that's going to push Storms later potentially if Sarias or Minuet comes up sooner. And again, we got to get in the bottom of the well for Volvagia, as Volvagia is our water medallion. So the longer the seed goes, the longer Burning Cack looks far away.
Oh yeah.
I don't think we talked about our win condition for this seed. It's of course beat Ganon, but how do we get there? We need 5 medallions to activate the Rainbow Bridge, and then 6 for the boss key. So we're going back to more medallion settings in terms of access. And how do you feel about that after playing Season 8, where we had vanilla requirements with Light Arrow and Shadow and Spear Medallion Hyper?
Yeah, I like it. It's a nice sort of quality of life setting. I'm a big fan of having Ganon's Castle open at some stage before you, like, in go mode, basically. So it's nice to have it open at an early point, but it opens up late enough where it doesn't show up every single seed. It might show up every, like, 1 in 10 seeds. So yeah, I'm a big fan of it. Makes it nice. There is still, like, that path prioritization, but it's at a lot smaller scale, where it you don't have to be like a scientist to figure out your path logic.
Yeah. I would agree that from what the little I've watched and played of League so far, personally, things definitely seem more straightforward on the hints side and what you're supposed to be doing when. Whereas Season 8, even just reading the Ocarina of Time Randomizer Discord, it's easy to see how people get lost in some paths.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, League is much friendlier, a lot easier to understand. Flea taking a death in Child SFM.
Those scrubs are relentless. They're actually brutal. Pretty hard to dodge.
Flea just like ate those nuts. Like
ZeldaSpeedRuns, we can get away with saying that, given the context. I was reading up on boss kills and like quick strategies, and there's very few games where I'm like, man, if you don't have the big sword or the big hammer, you got to make Ganon eat 10 nuts.
Yeah.
You got to show him your nuts.
We know Ganon loves eating nuts.
Yeah, he's on a nut protein-based diet. That's what made him so strong. But as we're talking about getting strong, we're going to get Flea and Volk pulling Nocturne at the same time. So kind of like that death for aesthetics. But I know Flea didn't. And then Cola's getting back into the backside of Dodongo. Is going to be clearing that up, grabbing a stone out of there. And then it looks like Alpha's actually checking South Hyrule Field. Probably, yeah, Alpha hasn't found that important hint yet, based on his tracker. So he doesn't know that these are dead, but he's at least getting hints out of them, so he might get a new hint. The worst thing is that if he finds Hyrule Field 1, well, I guess that might save him from checking Diving Grotto.
Yeah, he might feel bad about it later, but it's from his POV, it's the right way to head towards Deku Tree for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just seeing at the moment, like, runners are just kind of covering same ground. Where do we think that the next new location is going to be from Restream?
Based on the items that we're getting so far, I would say something to go over to Fortress, something that ushers us to Cross. Or if we just find Bone and Domain, then straight into Forest. Because right now, the way the scene's shaping up in terms of items, we don't have a lot we can do, so the runners are going to run out of options pretty fast.
Yeah. I think with that Rudo's letter and a bomb bag, you might see them start heading up river into that domain. Hand in that letter, check if it's the child domain, has maybe a bow, and go from there.
Mm-hmm. Alpha being a little bit more aggressive on the skulls here. Doing Knight Kokiri. I like it. Let's see, he's up to 4? Okay, that's why. I think he might be second in terms of collection. Fleece Tracker says 1, but I don't know about you all, but I only mark it once every 10. I can't mark every skull. That takes too much time.
Yeah, I'm the same. I count by 10s.
Yeah, if I don't remember how many skulls I have, I'm like, I'll figure out the next time I collect one. Vulcan over Child Fishing, not leaving it behind. Like that, again, it's easy to leave behind. Alpha playing Sun Song to make it day again. And Cola's heading up DMT, having finished. Dodongo's just now going to go, I guess, Adult Goron City. So doing that after rather than before, like we saw with, I believe it was Flea earlier, who did City first, then Cavern. I think
Flea's doing this Tempe stuff now. With that graveyard path to Twin Rover as well. You want to full clear it, or as best you can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Makes sense.
Because even if you do find, like, bomb bag, obviously, right, as Flea already found, you might still go like, well, magic might be in here or something.
Yeah,
so
could be so many different things in there. It doesn't have to be the bomb bag. It's just we know that it's pretty likely from here.
Yeah, I think we've seen all the graveyard checks other than torches and grave. So
yeah.
And it'll be a bit since we don't have magic or a fire source yet, and I don't foresee any of these runners going back to check it with sticks anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even have ZL at this stage, so...
Yeah. So Alpha finally entering Deku a little over half an hour in. This is Alpha's Child 2. As we remember, he spent a lot more time in Child 1 than the other runners. So he has already done a lot of that child checks that we see our other runners doing right now, such as Volk exiting South Hyrule into South Hyrule Field, like we saw. And it doesn't look like Volk actually stumbled across that Hyrule Field important items one hit either. So we're going to see Volk clearing out these grottos.
Yeah, we got Flea heading up river as expected. So this will be some new information for us. A lot of hint stones, some checks along the way, and heading to a path location.
Yeah,
I like it because even if Child Domain turns up dead, you got to go Ice Cavern for KZ.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Adult in these settings just has KZ, just de-icing KZ in Domain. Child's got a few more things to do there. Oh, well, there's ZL. It's on Bolero.
Okay.
So reasonably, that's actually pretty early considering we got Hookshot out of Deku. But also, that's an awkward place to get back up to, especially since Bolero's on Burning Cack. So those runners are not going to get back up there until they can reasonably route it in, which we've already seen all these runners go and do Goron City. So that's I think that's going to be something that if they get stuck and they feel like they need ZL, that might be something where they're just gonna have to eat the time loss and go check it out.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is why I like Kohler's decision to delay DC, because it's allowed him to be able to get the Bolero song as well now. So I think that routing works really well.
Yeah, it does. Looks like nothing's standing up in the center, and then down here it looks like a heart.
Speaking of Nuts working on a lot of bosses, I heard there's this new multi-world team popping out, Nuts on Volvage. I hear they're gonna take the title this season.
Yeah, they are gonna take the title of largest body count in the morgue after a randomizer with a name like that. Wow. Such a disgraceful name. We need to do something in this community to uplift the Fire Temple boss. She's had it too rough for too long. Oh, it looks like Volk's up to 8 skulls, so we might see the 10 skull check here, as I think Volk has this one and then the one on the side of Skulltula House. Tumble Talk, if you were a Goron, I would leave you locked in Fire Temple. I wouldn't open your cell, even if it did have a major item. Yeah, we're going to see 10 here from Volk, so this may or may not help us answer the question of what's the 6th major item in Kakariko. There it is, it's magic on 10.
That's it.
All right.
So that's awesome. You know, like, now you just stop collecting skulls. The rest of Kak is dead. And you got a nice magic. Also, the new magic model.
Yeah, so what's the inspiration or impetus for that? It was just people got tired of looking at a bottle, or what?
So it was to do with a new setting that's come in with magic jars being shuffled or something along those lines. So they needed that specific model for that setting. So to avoid confusion, they needed to change the actual magic model. So there's been a lot of discussion on what it needed to be, and it's been through a lot of different changes. It started as like just a magic bar model, like you can see underneath Volk's health, so it looked like that. There's been a lot of like mixed opinions on like what it needs to look like. I think this magic model looks really nice as well. I'm just not sure if it looks too close to prescription or not. But we'll see. I haven't heard anyone actually confuse it with prescription yet. But I feel like it may happen. We'll see.
It's a little bit higher fidelity than prescription, so it's kind of hard, but I could see some of like the model starts reverse towards you and then they just mash out of it. I could see it, but then also like it puts a giant bar on your screen. So yeah, and there's Minuet off of Composer's Grave.
Did we get anything on Domain? I wasn't looking.
Unfortunately, no.
Okay. Well, at least Flea knows where to go.
Yeah, so we are going to have to see a... Someone's got to whip out Blue Fire for KZ.
Yeah, so this is pretty straightforward. You're still missing Song of Storms as well, so going to Ice is, I think, a good play at this stage, and you know you need to do KZ now. Especially with that Minuet being found, we know this is most likely a bow on KZ.
And yes, also Frogs 2 is dead, for a hint earlier. So if anyone wants to get involved with League, even if you just want to try some of these seeds yourself, I recommend checking out the Ocarina of Time Randomizer Discord. There's been some practice races planned between people, and I'm just usually bumming off those to practice with. I believe it's also can be generated via the Ocarina of Time Randomizer website dev branch. I think the current League settings are on that.
Yeah, you can roll seeds from Mido's house as well. It does everything pretty much for you. It's nice and automated this season. Really easy to get the hang of. And yeah, Baseball's posting some links if you want to follow those. If you're interested in giving it a try yourself.
Yeah. That League page on Mido's house links you to everything. If you want to sign up, you can sign up from there. You can also go to the practice seeds, and you can also read the rules.
Yeah, and just to clarify as well, because it does get a little bit confusing. Standard is the rule set that covers like all the different tournaments and settings that we play. League is its own set of settings underneath the standard rule set.
Yeah, there you go. Similar but different.
Yeah.
Especially since again, we have a lot of overlap in settings.
Yeah, and it doesn't help. Like, people often refer to standard as like the settings. It gets confusing, but
no, yeah, I get it. No, Starks, I'm Scrubs. It's me. So yeah, we saw Cola. League is League. We saw Cola go up. Is now running around Zora's River, as they haven't gotten around this one yet. They're going to go up to Domain, chasing that path. We also have Flea doing Dodonga's Cavern 41 minutes in. Wow. Again, just running out of places to check, and this one's got density. Alpha doing Lost Woods, as we do have one major item in Lost Woods, which we did get a Skull Mask hint earlier, and Skull Mask is dead, so we know it's not that. It's starting to look, though, that the item is either behind Target in the Woods or Saria Song check with the Skull Kid, as I think those are the only two checks we haven't seen in Lost Woods yet.
Yep, so even with that important check-in, we still have to full clear Lost Woods pretty much, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, it sucks, but you know, it gives you points when you stop. So like if you did get Target in the Woods, you know that you don't have to go back to Saria's, where if you just had Path, you'd maybe be like, all right, I'm gonna need Saria's for the Skull Kid check. And you'd always have that in the back of your mind. Or we're not seeing it this seed since we've seen our 3 major items, but you can get major item 0. So you could get one that says like Gerudo Valley 0 major items, so it just knows that you don't need to look there. Just move along. So it works like as a enhanced foolish IMO.
Yep.
Yeah, but right now we are getting some spice with these checks, because again, Lost Woods is behind 2 awkward checks, because we haven't found our slingshot yet, and we're 40 minutes in. There's 3 of those out there somewhere. Or Saria Song, and then we know KZ has our major item in Domain. So we have to unfreeze him as adult.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of people start heading in that direction pretty soon, so we might get a couple synced up ice caverns.
Mm-hmm. Especially since, again, odds are it's probably just Bo. If it's not Bo, might raise a few eyebrows. But yeah, our 4 runners here are definitely tearing the seat up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they know what to do. Flea drops bombs like I do, with precision and very slowly, because I've messed up those eye switches so often.
There's nothing worse than missing that eye and committing and jumping off.
Yeah, I never commit to jump off. I'm too afraid, because I haven't practiced the chew strat. I don't have a backup, dude.
I call it the walk of shame if you have to go back around again.
Mm-hmm. What is it? 11 bomb shoes to kill Dodonga or something? That's the other joke that we have in here for DC now.
I'm hoping Zabi decides to pull that strat out later today.
Yeah. So we mentioned it earlier, but this isn't the only Zelda restream going on in the next 24 hours. I don't want to say today because it depends on your time zone. But tomorrow at 5 a.m. Eastern time, or 9 a.m. UTC 0, or the more important time zone in this context, 8 p.m. Australian EET, so the Sydney time zone, we're going to have the Losers Finals Season 8 race between Hyper and Zavi. And
hey, that's me.
That's you. Is this? And I believe you mentioned in the interview for your last race, is this a bit of a grudge match for you? Did Zavi wrong you in a previous season?
Yes. Zavi knocked me out of Season 7 and then went on to be champion, so I feel like it's only right that, I return the favor this season.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll watch it on the restream, which I can watch either here on Twitch, or I can watch later on ZeldaSpeedRuns on YouTube, because that's 2 a.m. for me, gamers, and this burrito's we're wrap into that tortilla and go to sleep.
Apologies to all the NA viewers. This is what happens when you get an Aussie versus a European.
It's okay. we're a global community here at Zelda Speedruns and the Ocarina of Time Randomizer community. We gotta accept everybody, no matter what their time zone may be, and we have to also accept that the Colossus hands are both dead. Thank you, Volk, for the timely hint. It looks like there's no big chest on the other side, so Goron City Maze is no good. You're just hoping you don't get spoiled before you watch it. You just can't read the Randomizer Discord. Just straight up, just don't.
So season 8 is season 8's getting really exciting as well, because there's that match we just mentioned, and over on our friends on TSG, spoiler alert, mute for 10 seconds if you haven't seen it yet. But is our Game 3 Grand Finals in Challenge Cup, Pyra versus Barrel. So that's happening Sunday, I believe. I don't want to say the time because I can't do conversions, but it's on Sunday night for the NA region.
All right, I'll type in chat. Spoilers over. All right. So now that spoilers are over and everyone's unmuted and listening to our beautiful voices once again, we see Cola charging upriver for that ice cavern, like you suspected. Now knowing Child Domain didn't hold everything, the items that we're getting is definitely pushing us towards there. And if that's Bo, Cola really wants it.
Yeah, it's a bit of a feels bad. Like you've already walked upriver once. You're probably hoping for irons or a scale to just not have to go back upriver again, especially Flea, because Flea's already... this will be Flea's third time upriver. If Flea decides to walk to ice as well.
Yeah, I know, and Flea did the early river play too. The one time you were punished for it, where basically the game's forcing you to go back up there. Like, oh, you want to do the rest of the siege, you're going back up.
It really does feel like ice is bottlenecking the rest of our progression.
Flea missed the hookshot grab on ladder and had to hop off to manage that timer. Now I'm gonna have to get some hearts. You know, managing the DMC crater timer on 3 hearts is harder than you think it is.
Yeah, it's not a lot of time. You gotta have some pretty good movement.
Experienced runners make it look pretty easy. Can't hesitate, just gotta go. I'm always wilded out by the people who get the peek in while they're on it. I'm like, dude, I can't do that. I gotta keep going. All right, so we're going to see some new stuff up here in Zora's Fountain with Cola in the upper left. Looks like Alpha just finished up Domains, playing Prelude. High probability going to go adult here and going to climb back up. Volk's going to be checking Fairy on DMT. Flea likely to take the same strategy here since, you know, already up here, might as well. Oh, actually, Alpha might be doing some night market stuff.
Okay.
I guess. Okay.
Oh, no.
Wait. Flip out the ocarina, day market stuff. Maybe they haven't done shooting gallery yet, or they want something.
Where is?
What are we buying? Bombs?
What's
they have one
here?
bomb. They want bombs.
Oh, okay.
They're going for the bomb refill.
Resource management. It's a thing.
No, Alpha did Deku. They have hookshot.
Yeah, so I want to say that Cola probably looks like he has the advantage on Restream right now, just being the first one into Ice Cavern.
Mm-hmm. Because we know we're going to get something out of here. If you can grab the ice... Dude, trolling iceberg. See, this is why I grab the spinning one. I don't know why. I think the spinning one's easier.
Yeah, the spinning one lets you up for free.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit slower, so, you know, Cola's about that fast life, so it's got to go for the fastest way possible.
I'm about that, man. I hope I can complete the seed today, life.
Oh, nice bomb drop for Volk. It looks like everyone's really low on bombs, so...
That's easy to do.
Those bomb drops are crucial.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that's really, really easy to do, especially when you're locked out of dungeon progression for a while, as, again, we've only seen them do DC and Deku so far. And so you're getting a lot of bomb use out of whatever it is they may be doing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, resource management is, like, a genuine skill. Especially with chest appearance matches contents, like, and an early bomb bag, you just don't open up the brown chests anymore, and that's like your normal way to fill your resources. So You really got to be watching those numbers as you play.
Yeah, even with a full wallet, you can mess that up sometimes, as I did, as I ended up prioritizing doing some things, wasting my time of day, not being able to farm rupees, and then I made it out to Lake Highly. I'm like, shit, I have no money for fishing. What do I do?
I have so many times I've gone to child fishing with like 19 rupees, and I'm like, I'm an idiot.
Yeah, now I gotta go walk over to the grass, get a rupee, come back, and of course, it's the time where you go over to grass and you're like, it's not dropping rupees.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we see Colo working their way back in their first blue fire out of the first room. No big check in there. Flea's gonna go upriver now. Volk is heading out to Fountain. Alpha's actually in Adult Goron City right now. They haven't gotten Zelda's Lullaby yet, so they're here to do the Bolero check.
Mm-hmm. Yep, ZL's very important.
Mm-hmm. Especially since we have a path hint for Vega and Bottom of the Well. There's a good chance we need to play that ZL. Forget about Shadow Fairy. I need to get in that well. Alright, so Alpha's grabbing Lullaby and immediately playing Nocturne to get back down to CAC. Likely going to run out and go upriver here.
Yeah, this is probably the fastest way.
Mm-hmm. Because he can do Composer's Grave here to get his Minuet, and then he can just make his way over the river.
Yeah.
Yeah, early Cavern with early magic, but no ice arrows does feel bad. Kola hasn't found their magic yet, but we do know it's on 10 skulls, so I would call that an early magic.
Yeah, Kola will get that soon as well. Like, he's picking up the skulls through Ice Cavern, so... Yeah, next time he's in CAC, I'm sure he'll have 10.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so Alpha about to get Minuet. Cole almost done. Again, Ice Cavern, you blink and you miss it. I mean, the keys will help slow it down. Thanks, keys.
the keys help us. They give us blinking time.
Yeah, Cole, you're going too fast. We gotta put these keys in here to slow you down. Oh yeah, sure. I'd also agree that even though 10 skulls is early, some runners, Cola's going fast. He's going to get the skulls that are along the way. He's not going to be stretching for them early. Similarly, you might have seeds where you just don't collect skulls. You're like, screw it. And you won't do it for a very long time.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Now you're talking my language.
Yeah, but now we have the important checks, so that might encourage you to keep checking your skulls.
That's true. That's true.
Mm-hmm. Because when you get CAC is path to whatever, you're just like, well, I found a thing that could be path. I'm not going to worry about the skulls.
Man, Cola got trolled a lot in that Ice Cavern by those keys.
Absolutely.
That was horrible. It was so bad.
They can sense he's got some good routing going on, so they're trying to even the odds here.
You can see the desperation for bombs as well. Flea just went out of his way for a bomb pickup on the iceberg.
Mm-hmm. You don't want to be short bombs. Having to go out and farm bombs sucks just as much as having to go out and farm rupees.
Yep. Ooh, bomb pickup.
And there's Song
we got plenty
of
of bombs.
Storms. Okay.
Nice.
So now we can go back and do Bottom of the Well.
Yeah, so I expect that we'll probably find a bow on KZ. And so that'll probably be Forest first, and then maybe Bottom of the Well afterwards, is what I'm expecting to see.
Yeah, especially since if we go and do Forest, we might find something in there that lets us just keep clearing stuff out as adult and put off our transformation. Because it's Path of Volvagia, so there's a pretty high odds that at this point, since we already have Strength 1 and we have Bomb Bag, it's probably just Hammer. Probably.
Yeah.
So, and with Fire Temple being out of the way, since Bolero's on Burning CAC, you're not really in a rush to get that Hammer.
Yeah, and Baseball pointing out, I think we might be in for a quad Forest here.
Oh, sick. We're going to be getting some excellent animes. Yeah, we're just short of a quad Ice Cavern, but Forest Temple takes a bit longer than Ice Cavern does.
Never mind.
Oh, actually, it's a long shot.
Take it back.
What? Wait, okay, so Hook Shot was in Deku, which was locked by Kokiri, which was Sphere 0. And so that was long shot.
We have opponents. Where did we get opponents again?
We got opponents from right there, off Minuet.
Okay. Alright, so that's not GTG access. But that might be crossing access.
Yeah. Because that's the last major. That was the last check in domain. That has to be our path to Phantom Ganon. Yeah. Here, this is a really good example of how League logic's coming into play. That has to be Wasteland Crossing. What sucks too is that if Cola doesn't check Skulls anytime soon, he's not going to be able to check Wasteland Torches. So I could definitely see somebody orphaning that sooner than later.
Yeah.
If they don't stay on top of their skulls.
Yeah, it is kind of out of the way at the moment for Cola, unless he decides to do bottom of the well. Then he'll be able to hand in his 10.
Well, he is Child right now, so that might be it. Let's see how many skulls he has after this one. He has 9. Oh, yeah, he's going to check it on the way to well.
He's fine.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's fine. And the other 3 are cool as ice right now in Ice Cavern. Flea going for the fast jump, didn't get it, so going to bomb jumping. I bomb jump all of these. I'm just jumping to a pit every time.
Unfortunately, we're not going to see Cola do the best hint check in the game, Hyrule Castle 3, because that is guaranteed junk in League as well, unfortunately.
Oh, that's a good thing to know. Are there any others junk? Like maybe Cowhead brought out?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, so Hyrule Field, Cow, and Hyrule Castle 3. They're both guaranteed junk hints. And it's because they're horrible, but true gamers still go and get them.
True gamers do Hyrule Castle 3 not for the hint, but for the skull. Cola just needed one more. It was right there.
True gamers read the junk hint. Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm. I want to know what it says. I'm just assuming that since baseball's a race org, she wrote all the junk hints.
That would be great. I'd read them if baseball wrote them.
I would read them too. All right, yeah. So Cola's gonna go drain the well, hop on down, and then we'll see them. Luckily, they don't need magic for well. And Flea finishing up ice after Volk. What?
I think we'll find something. Oh well, we know we'll find something in here. We're expecting the hammer, but I wonder if there's gonna be anything else.
Yeah, to be
in here,
that long shot threw me for a curveball. I wasn't expecting that. If anything, I was expecting something funny like slingshot or ring, but I was like, "Oh, long shot, okay."
Cole's gonna get his 10 here and feel good.
Reading the junk hits on GitHub seems like cheating.
Yeah, ruins the player experience.
Yeah, ruins the opportunity for me to waste my time. Alright, so we have everyone out of ice almost. Alpha just going through the last 2 rooms here. I don't count the hallway. Hallway's isn't a room to me.
We are seeing Volk do the last graveyard check as well.
Ooh,
Composer torches.
We got flame storage. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this will confirm or deny the bomb bag path.
Oh.
Strength 2. Strength 2. Yeah.
Wow. That is a big find.
That's major, yeah, because again, I don't know when some of these runners are going to go back there. I feel like Cola is somebody who likes to orphan that. It just gives me that vibe.
Yeah, I can't see people going back for that until maybe they've beaten Shadow, so if that Strength 2 locks our dens or our hovers, yeah, that's going to be a really hard check to get back to.
Mm-hmm. So Volk could overtake Cola here. We won't see the effects immediately. It'll be a bit of time if Cola doesn't make it back for that check soon. Or at least before when it matters.
Are we gonna get quad bottom of the well? No, surely not.
No.
His dungeon's so short that would be unheard of.
Yeah, no. Especially with all the peaks you can do in bottom of the well to save a lot of time with just getting to be here. Like here's a good one. Oh, there we go. Gotta bomb that. That might be our path to Volvagia down there.
Oh, well, there's Dins.
Okay. Could be. That would definitely be a hot one if true.
Alright, well, our strength 2 is in logic now.
Mm-hmm. And then Volk's about to pull it. There we go. That might... I don't know. Would finding a Dins here encourage you to go back to Composer's Grave?
No, no way. It's too far
I
away.
didn't think so. Yeah. But at least, you know, when they go to Cross Wasteland, they can hit torches on the way. I was a little worried about them not to do that. Let's see if Dead Hand has anything. Because after Dead Hand, the only things we haven't seen is like jail, basement, and then the room next to the like jail.
Yeah, and we haven't seen the key rings yet. This will be our first look at key rings for this restream.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's true.
And it just makes bottom of the well even stronger. An extra 2 checks in here now.
Yeah, and if you ever get a seed... Oh, GTG sucks, yeah.
GTG is just insane. There's so many checks.
Hey, bro, I think I flushed the keys down the toilet. Oh, shit. But taking a momentary break from that, as it is over the 1 hour mark and baseball says they are forgetting to track, well, maybe I should help remind them by thanking our trackers today who are Tumble Talking Baseball, who are pulling double duty. Thank you very much. Also, double thanks to Baseball for hosting the restream. We also want to thank our runners, Cola, Flea, Alpha, and Volk, all for sharing their perspectives and participating in the weekly as we all warm up for League on these League settings. And thank you, Hyper, for being here.
Yo, thank you for joining me in the booth. It's been fun.
Absolutely. It's good when we have a time zone that isn't miserable for you.
Hell yeah.
Get some breakfast, watch some League, hope to forget about the seed before your own race so you don't confuse things. It's all good.
Yeah, I wanted to play this one, but I thought, I don't really want to mix and match settings on the same day as my race, so I thought commentary is a good substitute.
Absolutely. It's when you're in the mindset of playing, that's a little bit hard to get out of when you're just spectating.
Yeah.
So I think the only thing we found in well was Din's Fire. So
that's it.
That fire sorts his path for Volvagia. Cole is playing Nocturne right now. Checking torches. All right, reading that path really tightly.
Yeah.
All right.
Really Cola's better than me.
Cola. Yeah, that's a really smart logic play by Cola. Personally, when I see Dins, I just go, okay, well, if the seed has jokes, it's Wasteland Torches or Grave. Or if the seed's just the seed, then it's probably in Shadow. But yeah, finding strength 2 there. So yeah, Cola's cooking right now. Time to cross?
Yeah, I think it is, yeah.
Well, Cola's gonna dip. Time for Shadow Temple.
Graveyard first. I don't think we're gonna find... We're definitely not gonna find hovers. I think we have to cross to find hovers with that long shot path. Unless the bow is in Water Temple long shot locked, which is just, yeah. I'm not expecting that.
So here's a question. Obviously we have to get all 6 medallions to complete the game. But with 5 medallions, we can unlock the Rainbow Bridge sooner. So if you dip a dungeon like Cola is dipping Shadow Temple here, would you say that you're potentially committing to completing this later for a sooner Rainbow Bridge? Or Shadow Temple being a longer dungeon to complete, are you saying that maybe IGC doesn't have anything and you're not worried about getting there sooner than later?
I'm not sure. I think like Cola's just thinking like Shadow is a dungeon that is progression. He's got to do these 2 checks at some stage, so let's just do it now on the off chance that there's something in here. Again, with key rings, like there's an increased chance that these are just 2 item checks as well. So makes sense. It's Din's path. Maybe Hammer could be sitting in here as well. I think that's where Cole was thinking, and probably not really thinking about Ganon's at this stage.
I agree. I'm always tempted to think about IGC, but I know a lot of the time in these seeds, like we talked about earlier, between Season 8 and League, you don't see it that often, as it just naturally ends up being late behind so many things. I don't really think Season 8 pushed it sooner. So, yeah, unfortunately finding Keyring at the end there. One thing I wanted to mention earlier before we had to remind Baseball to track was Keyring in Bottom of the Well. One thing that's nice about it is Bottom of the Well actually has a lot of convenient skulls if you have especially if you have the boomerang, but only if you have the keys for it. And a lot of the time in Season 8, you just get the key that you need and you wouldn't open any other doors.
Yeah. When you find the key rings in the basement of Bottom of the Well, it sucks really bad. You gotta go back up just to do those last 2 checks.
Yeah, that's true. So Volk actually using that save quit strat to get Epona right there, and this is our first Valley to Fortress play, it looks like, and looks like Volk's thinking of crossing sooner than later. And looks like Cola's doing the same thing here.
Yep, I like this. Plays are smart.
Flea's, I guess, worried about abandoning orphaning child checks in Goron City, so is going back for that. Can't check Darunia yet, but could do everything else. And then Alpha is getting to the end of Bottom of the Well. So we're not going to see... If we see 4 Forest, it's not anytime soon with that long shot grab. So we're going to see maybe double GTG. Just peek in, see what's in there.
Yeah, we might even see... I don't think we will, but might see players skip GTG, just drop FW and keep going to Spirit. Because we know the bow is most likely past crossing, so we can't full clear GTG right now without the bow. And we might pick it up in Spirit.
Right. And that's another thing that we haven't mentioned for anyone who has come in late. All these runners did start with Pharaoh's Wind in this setting, so as long as you find magic, you can start leveraging that wind sooner than later. So even if they're here and like that, they're not going to do anything in there, they're definitely going to drop wind. As obviously not the fastest place to come back to, and don't really have a better place to drop wind right now.
Yeah. It's just GTG so loaded, like it's pretty hard to pass up, like doing while you're there. But we might see it.
Yeah, because again, all those keys have been condensed into one chest, so that's a lot of chests that are now not keys.
Yeah. Oh yeah, okay, so Volk's got FW equipped. I think that's exactly what Volk's gonna do.
I don't think Pharaoh's Wind would stink Tumultalk. It's fairy magic. It probably smells like a candle store or something.
Glitter. Smells like glitter.
Smells. What does glitter smell like? I didn't think glitter had a smell.
This one does.
Oh, okay. I'm just imagining Rauru being like, Link, before you go, here, have some glitter. He was doing art. He's got to pass the time somehow in the Temple of Time, so he's doing arts and crafts while Link's on ice. But here we go. We're going to cross logically with a long shot, so we're not going to see anyone backwalk that sand trap. Or maybe they do it out of habit. I don't know. Ooh, Cola actually going a little bit further in GTG, so here's some path divergence.
Cola dipping.
Yeah, Cola wants to take the dip. And Alpha doing the shadow dip as well here. Yeah, it does seem that long shots locking bow. That's probably the spiciest thing of the seed so far. And then potentially, the Dins was looking hot, but Bomb of the Well with Volvagia. Oh, there's Iron Boots.
There's irons. So we can beat water now.
Oh yeah, we got long shot and irons. I don't know if any of these racers are going to be racing to water. I don't know if anyone's a real fan of water. Bow and shoot the sun. The first bow can't be, but maybe the second or third. Water does lock a song. It's just not a very exciting place to go. I feel like water with a key ring is more ominous than exciting.
Yeah, the key water temple has screwed me over a couple of times in these settings. If you get an early boss key, because I mean you're leaving like 6 or 7 checks behind a lot of the time.
Yep.
So yeah, water temple is very volatile this season, I'd like to say.
Mm-hmm.
We do have Minuet.
Yeah, that was Composer's Grave. No Sarias yet. Storms was on Ice Cavern. And we know that our Ocarina of Time is Bolero. We know that Burning Cack is Requiem. So we're still looking at Prelude for something. Sarias or Ocarina of Time. Shruggy.
You got another big boy in GCG here.
Normalize full water clears. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that.
If you give me like, if you put raising and lowering the water level on D-pad, I'll do it.
I like that. That's good.
Also, like finding the Goron tunic in GTG. We haven't had to do Fire Temple yet, so that's just nice.
Yeah, nice wardrobe change.
Mm-hmm. Looks like Cole's gonna go to the next room, drop wind, and then peace out.
Yeah, I think Cole is looking for the key rings. Hoping to get the maze done.
Mm-hmm. I'm waiting for the keys to be sitting behind Song of Time block right here. Oh, we got a big chest in here, though. Flea doing the valley checks. Looks like piece of heart up there. It's gonna grab this hint, though. Nope. Alpha now making it out.
Just on the time on Requiem as well, which means it's Saria's on the Prelude check.
Hmm. And there's a bow inside GTG behind the hammer chest.
Oh. Okay.
Huh.
Alright, we do get key rings on adult side.
Mm-hmm. That's probably not our first bow, as chat's bringing up.
It could be. I think we might find Hammer in Spirit. That still fits the path.
Yeah.
Din's got Strength 2.
So you're thinking that may find Hammer in here, and then logically the seed will want you to go back?
Yeah, I think so.
Interesting. Yeah, it could be. I just don't want it to be the first bow. That's sloppy.
I still like Volk's way of saving GTG until he can full clear. If he comes up with a hammer here, then collects the bow, but it doesn't really matter. Like, Cola's gonna be able to full clear it now as well, so.
Mm-hmm. Drop a window just in case. Yeah, I guess we can see toilet room.
Exciting. I like that.
Ooh. You know, that is a convenient place to find the bow, though. Like, oh, about to leave? Oh, I got the bow? Cool.
Yeah.
It's a bomb bag.
So the key rings might just be in the maze, and they're just, the whole maze is dead.
They could be. They could be in this room, could be behind the Song of Time block.
Yeah.
We got a few more exciting checks here in GTG as Volk works his way up Spirit Temple. Already finding the key ring, so good to go here. Don't have to worry about child side for at least the key ring. Boss key could be on child side. And Alpha going into GTG now. And Flea's actually off into Forest Temple with a Forest dip.
There's a big chest on Volk's side as well. 2 big chests, actually.
Yeah,
see the hammer
Spirit
here.
Temple dropping them. Okay,
yeah,
you're right.
Okay,
there's the hammer.
There's the path.
There it is. So Bomb of the Well, Din's Fire to Spirit Temple Hammer to Volvagia. And then find Strength 3 inside Spirit Temple also? What? Oh, how many big chests are in Spirit? Calm down. Holy moly.
BGS.
Okay, I think I have to agree with you, because Cola just got baited into going to water sooner, finding that bow. I think getting out to Spirit sooner than later, now seeing what's in here, is definitely more important.
Yeah, I don't think either way they're really losing any time. Like, Cola dropped FW in GTG, so
right.
He'll be back on his way. I think Cola might be trying to sneak a way to get Requiem. We know that's not possible because the hammer is in Spirit, so he's going to have to cross. But I think maybe that's what Cola's trying to do is be able to get Burning Cack to get Requiem and avoid crossing.
Okay. So you think then, if Cola was to check Wasteland Torches, he'd do it after Spirit?
Yeah, or just not at all. It's one of those ones that maybe you just leave it.
Yeah, I guess my only temptation to not leave it is finding Dins on the path, as it's that is a track that likes to troll. So I guess you'd only do it if you found nothing anywhere else. So there's
another big boy in Spirit. Those are the hovers. Are we like in
We're almost go mode? We just need to know where light arrows are, which Ganon will tell us.
Okay. That happened really fast.
Yeah, what the hell?
We're in glow.
Volk,
okay.
Volk doesn't know where Hammer is, but did set wind and will likely go back to GTG. If not now, very soon. Like once they're done in Spirit. Because still missing bow, it kind of sucks for Forest. Can't potentially finish water without bow, etc.
Yeah, Volk will go there at some stage.
Here's another big chest.
Might prioritize Fire Temple first. But no Bolero, so...
Epona was Minuet check.
Long shot for crossing for hammer for bow, yeah.
Yeah. That's messed up.
Alright, I think this is a great time to open up a bet for lights because they can just be anywhere. Baseball, could we get a bet open?
You're gonna have to... Okay, you're claiming responsibility of reminding baseball to cash out when the stream's over.
Alright, deal. Alright, bet full fetch.
God damn it. I can't take you guys anywhere. Cola finding the Stone of Agony in Water Temple, though, so that's good.
Alright, place your bets. Where do you think the light arrows are?
Light Trials Yell check is a good one. I like that one from a new IT guy.
I'm going to be a troll. I'm going to go for...
Didn't we already see the Wasteland Torches when Volk crossed? Wasn't that junk?
I think we did, yeah.
I was watching GTG, to be honest. You bet they're somewhere in the seed. Hey, I agree with that one. They're off. I think they're gonna be Baronade. Just to make it terrible.
Baronade's that's a good one.
Oh, Stone Job, I don't have to go there. That's what you think.
The good thing about League is we can just go get the light arrow hint. So we're going to see, once our players end up in glow mode, we're going to see them just rushing dungeons, trying to get to Ganon's as quickly as possible. Ganondorf will give us the light arrow hint. That wasn't possible in Season 8 because we needed the lights to spawn the bridge. But in League, we can spawn that bridge and we can go get that hint.
Yeah. Also, I just want to say, Spirit full of upgrades. Volk just pulled Silver Scale. in the sunblock room.
Nice.
Yeah, Spirit got a lot. Alpha taking the same strat of dropped Wind and then crossed immediately. Which it does seem to be a very strong play because Alpha's going to leave Spirit loaded up here. Cole going to instantly delete Morpha on the next one.
Did we not get a boss key in Spirit? Is that what happened?
Yeah, Volk left. I think boss key's child side.
Outside. Okay, so we got to go get Burning Cack for that.
Mm-hmm. Got a lot of good items out of it, though. Nothing to complain about doing adult side.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that Spirit Temple was loaded. Just gave us everything we needed.
Flea pulling Iron Boots from GTG and then immediately playing Serenade. Interesting. That is a fast chest to dip on the left side and be like, well, I don't have bow, I can't finish it, come back later. But to go to water, which you could get bow locked out of, is quite the gamble.
I agree.
Well, we know he doesn't need bow to finish it. I think boss key was compass chest. But that, without knowing that, definitely dangerous.
Yeah, there's only one hard locked bow check in water. The Volk can do the rest with or not Volk, sorry. Flea can just do the rest with Dens. So it's not too risky, but yeah, it was an interesting decision to dip straight away.
Yeah. And there's Sarga's song off of Prelude, as we were able to deduce. So
we also saw a new speed up as well on Cola's side. So the Morpha kill cutscene is like significantly shortened now. So it truly is a blink and you miss it now for Morpha.
Yeah, especially when you have people like Cola, Flea, Volk, and Alpha who can, get Morpha in the door jam and then just delete them and be like, we do the boss room?
Yeah.
So Cola now loaded with bow is going to come here and clear out all four. So we're not seeing the quad force today. Sorry to disappoint everybody, and we know you're fans of it. But Alpha's going to be getting a lot of major items here. Volk getting blue fire arrows out of Shadow Temple as they are the first one to be able to cross with those hovers. So we're going to be seeing new information from Volk's perspective here in the bottom right. Shadow could have another bow. That logical first bow with GTG, if that's the first bow, that's nasty though.
I'm just waiting. Just waiting for that rang to turn up.
Oh yeah, me too. I just want to point out we haven't found Slingshot yet. I mean, it's not a big deal, but there are only 2 checks left in Lost Woods. One's a major item, and we only have left its Target in the Woods and the Sarga Song Skull Kid. We do have Sarga Song now on Cola's side.
That would be awesome if we get Lost Woods into Blight Arrows.
Well, then I hope for Cola's sake it's Sarga Song. For the restream, we hope it's Slingshot. See Cat and chat thinking the same thing. Baronade. Oh, this is also a good strategy from Volk here on the bottom right, using Lens to peek the invisible chest in that room, seeing if he actually has to do this. The visible one is a major item, so he is going to be doing this. But that could be a nice little tidy time save that you wouldn't otherwise do, because a lot of time in S8, we don't even have Lens, because it's expected that you can do Shadow Temple without it, even in these settings.
Yeah, and especially with key rings, it's just like an increased chance that like these 2 checks are dead now. So yeah, having that lens to peek is like way more efficient in these settings.
Yeah. Also, shoutouts to Shadow holding the second magic. Some things never change regardless of the settings.
The classic.
The classic. Flea going for boss key chest check back here.
we should make a rule: if you find Magic 2 in Shadow, you get an instant death. So you got to be careful opening the big chest in Shadow.
You get Magic 1 removed. It negates your magic. Sorry, I can't finish seed now. Alright, there's that stone again. Ooh, big chest actually up here in Shadow, though. Maybe not. Maybe this is our slingshot. Let's go. No, it's a bigger wallet. Cool. Well, Volk is bourgeoisie percent, big money percent, loaded percent, taking me out to dinner later percent. I don't know.
I like that one.
Buy me a hot meal. All right, Cole, moving up the push box room. Gonna see what's on the eye shot chest here. Let's see what do we got. What do we got? Crap. Let's see that side hop. I thought he was gonna recoil. You can do that recoil for logical hover skip with Master Sword, right? Or do you need BGS?
Yeah, you can do it with either. I think you'll see Cola do it. He's just pushing the blocks first to set this room up.
Oh, because he's already put in the time to push them. Got it.
Yeah. Yeah, because he doesn't have hovers, so he can't do the ground jumps with the hover boots.
Hmm. Conversely, if you're not comfortable with that trick, or you don't have hover boots in here, because this seed starts you with wind, you can always just go up, rotate the hallway, drop, go in, drop wind, drop down, do this logically, and then wind back up. If you're newer and maybe, because that recoil is pretty difficult.
Yeah, there's lots of different ways around it as well. Keyrings make Forest Temple routing even more interesting, I feel like. I think it was already probably one of the more interesting dungeons with routing divergence, and I think Keyrings like adds to that.
Mm-hmm.
You see a lot more free keys and things like that. Well, not free keys. You can't do free key, but Scarecrow routing and stuff like that as well.
That's exactly what I was going to say, is the Scarecrow routing. Also, yes, emotional support fish. We found the fish, everybody. It's okay. Also, we've already found Boss Key in Shadow. We're not going to have to... Well, we're still going to see Volk probably go to Manager, because he's still looking for other items, but... didn't have to technically do back Shadow, maybe. We'll see.
Yeah,
but
this might be... Sorry, you go.
Oh, I was just going to say, yeah, so in Forest Temple, if you go into the courtyard with the key chest sitting there, that you usually have to like hookshot up to, and the Skulltula. Yeah, if you have, I think, hovers, you can do it from the upper balcony down to land on the overhang over the entry door, and then from there with the free Scarecrow Saw, you just whip up Scarecrow and hookshot over.
Yeah. I was just going to say, like, this might be unfortunate for Volk, the way he's chosen to route the dungeon order. He's going to end up full clearing Shadow, where I think a lot of other people, if they find lights along the way, they might be able to go mode this Shadow Temple now.
Ooh, I see what you mean. Yeah. He could save time on some of those out-of-the-way checks, like the Invisible Spinning Blade room, Spikefall room. Yeah, getting Keyring really lets you skip a lot of stuff if you know you don't need to do it.
Yeah.
And in a dungeon like Shadow Temple that's normally a long dungeon, that's a lot of time. Speaking of time, here's a major item, time, which is Bottle with a Small Pow. We're starting to find all our bottles all of a sudden. I think we're at bottle percent now. I don't think any individual runner is, but I think we're there cumulatively.
It might be.
So Flea playing Serenade out of water. And gonna grab Lakeside Lab Dive.
I don't think Flea left FW. Does Flea have magic?
No. Flea has not found magic.
Yeah,
oh,
so
Flea did beat water. Okay.
Yeah, so Flea's gonna have to ride back to GTG now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Flea beat water, went back in to do a few more checks. Now is leaving. Alpha actually taking the right side into GTG, having finished Spirit. It's gonna
this is nice.
Yeah, gotta get Bow out of here. So, in hindsight, this is good.
Yep. And I think we'll probably see Volk go back to GTG after this Shadow. I don't think Volk can do any more progression dungeons other than maybe a Forest Temple dip.
Mm-hmm. There's the bow.
Oh, Volk can do fire. Yeah, Volk might do fire first.
Yeah, do you think that Volk will run up to fire before doing it?
I do, because he's following a hammer that's blocking his bow. He's actually following a lot of it. Volk. See, this is the problem with Volk skipping GTG and doing Spirit first. Now is Spirit was so loaded that like he's got like 6 different items he's chasing for his bow now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's our slingshot. Back of Shadow. There we go. Found it finally.
Nice.
Yeah. So that once Volk gets Saria's off of Forest, we might have the Lost Woods question answered.
Okay, put it in Jabu then. Casino for Rang.
Wow.
Put the Rang on target in the woods.
Yeah, so we were talking about earlier how the settings for League are definitely on the faster side than Season 8. But we are seeing how League can still throw some curveballs in terms of not only pathing, but just the variety of routing that we've come into, because we've seen all of our runners, at least 2 of them in usually completely different places than the other 2. We do have Alpha and Flea both in GTG at the same time, but Flea just got back here from water. And Alpha's been in here for a little bit after finishing Spirit. Flea hasn't crossed yet. So there's still a lot of curveballs and longer seeds for Rando to be had with a League, but typically I think you'd see people getting closer to the 2-hour mark, as Hyper mentioned earlier.
Yeah, I think like we got bottlenecked in this seed by Ice Cavern, but then after that, with that long shot, that was a lot of divergence from there.
Yeah. I think part of it is just everyone choosing to read the path a little bit differently, like you mentioned.
Yeah. I think the other thing we kind of forgot about is Flea didn't get Strength 2. Obviously, without Magic, Flea's been missing that Strength 2, so that's a bit of a problem for Flea, and that actually makes sense why Flea chose to bail from GTG after those Iron Boots. Because there wasn't a lot of incentive to cross to Spirit Temple.
Mm-hmm. And we know that behind Silvers now is just Goron Tunic, so not the end of the world. But from the context of Fleet not having the information, yeah, absolutely. That's 4 very fast checks in the back of GTG. That could be a lot of things. So Alpha's almost done with everything, but it looks like the keys are in Toilet. Because Alpha did play Song of Time earlier. He peeked the maze, but I didn't quite see what it was.
Okay.
And this freestanding item was just a rupee. So if there's anything good in the maze, we're going to be seeing Alpha, I think, jump in the toilet here. Unless this chest is something, and I totally forgot when Cole looked at it. Nope. Alright. Yeah, nothing good in the maze, it looks like, since Alpha's playing Minuet to get out of here. And is going to go do Forest, which Cola is now on Phantom Gambit.
Interesting that Alpha didn't cross the wasteland there. Go beat Spirit. Oh, sorry.
Alpha was already in Spirit.
Alpha's been there. Yeah. Got mixed up with Flea.
No, you're good. I understand why Flea didn't cross.
Yeah.
Where's the strength?
That's right.
Because Flea also knows that it's not Requiem back there from hints, so...
Yeah. Alright, well, it was very nice of Alpha to wait until Cola finished Forest before dipping in.
Mm-hmm.
Very kind. Cares about restream.
Keep it fresh on the Yeah, we want to keep it fresh on the restream. Wants everyone looking at something different. Speaking of something different, Volk did play Minuet, went to SFM, but then left. Doesn't have bow yet. Hasn't quite put it together that they need to go back to GTG.
This is Fire Temple for Volk.
Yeah, he's chasing
that hammer, which makes perfect sense. Like, you find a hammer in a path location, you're not thinking GTG.
No.
And for all we know, like, there could be other bows that are hammer locked as well. The bow just has to be locked behind the long shot. So there can be multiple copies that are locked behind the items that we found in Spirit. It doesn't have to just be that GTG one.
Right. It's very possible that he'll go into fire and be like, oh, there's another bow right behind, bottom loop fire. It's just hanging out back there. Who knows?
Yeah. Or bow on Volvage. That's possible too.
Ah, everyone's favorite check, I guess. One thing that's interesting about keyring that I like in the context of Fire Temple is you can't get very far without keys. You got the bottom loop, and then you got the boss room, and then the boss. So you're going to find your key ring within 4 checks.
Yeah, or sometimes you might not even find the key rings as well. With beatable only, as long as you can beat the boss, the key rings can just like not exist.
Yeah, it might be locked behind keys, and then you go, cool, don't have to do the rest of Fire Temple today. Great.
Yeah.
I love not having to climb Fire Temple.
Yeah, that's just another one of those things that can help speed up seeds as well. If those key rings aren't accessible, that's just like 5 to 10 minutes that you just save not having to do it.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're going to see HBA. Cole getting thorough up in here. Might as well, otherwise you're going to probably leave this check behind. Ooh, target. Yeah, to Fox's point in chat, since we do have required only, it's possible that's the only bow. It's also possible that slingshot we found is the only slingshot.
Yep.
The rest are just in jail. Oh, there's never the slingshot. I evoked it. So there's a... I feel like getting a slingshot from horseback archery is like a backhanded comment by the Gerudo, but we'll take it. Cola didn't have it yet, and we might need it.
So yeah, Cola's going to be in a really strong position after Spirit Temple, because Cola's going to be in glow mode from there.
Mm-hmm.
I would expect Flea did beat
Water. Read his tracker. I was like, did he? Let me look at his tracker. And I went, no. And then there's the boss key.
Oh, he didn't. Okay.
It's okay. We're having to de-rest as a community on the four runner perspective. We've been very spoiled with only having to watch 2 perspectives for the last, 5-6 months. So now we're after going back to, oh yeah, there's 4 people now. It is hard, especially since baseball you're tracking too, instead of Stall Talk. It's hard to pull double duty on tracking. Especially when everyone's going so fast. These fast runners need to slow down for the sake of our trackers.
Alright, do we get key rings? We do. Okay, so all of Fire Temple is open now.
Alright. That gives Volk a lot of things to chase with the hammer. Yeah. If key rings were unobtainable here, if they were locked behind, that would actually help Volk a lot in this situation because that would really reduce the number of hammer checks he'd have to think about.
Yeah. Yep, definitely.
Now, Hyper's going to be going fast later today. Hyper has to go fast. You can't slack against Zavi.
Yep. Zavi too good.
Mm-hmm. And for anyone else coming in, that's we're having the Season 8 tournaments standard rule set losers finals tonight. It's between Hyper here and Zavi, so make sure to tune in if you're awake. It's not friendly for NA time zones. And what's not friendly is finding gold scale in Fire Temple. What? So... but make sure to check out. And if you're not awake at that time, guess what? You can watch it again later, either here on Twitch via the VOD or on Zelda Speedruns YouTube channel. Wow, so many options. So right now, out of fire, all we found is gold scale. Or just a scale.
Zubby's been trying to convince me to play as the big Chungus model.
Oh, I bet he has. He must have it. Just double Chungus. Have you been practicing your Chungus?
I have not.
That he might be a mind game. He might be trying to give you the disadvantage there.
I think that's what's happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a trick. No one can out Chungus Zavi. So right now you've been talking about how Kola has probably the strongest routing here right now, given their decisions and the items they've run into, and they're going to get heavily rewarded here in Spirit, as we know. Who do you think out of these four might be in the weaker position?
I'd have to say Flea, missing that strength 2. I think that's really going to slow Flea down.
Yeah, strength 2 and magic, because he's been left out of the wind party. He's not been able to get as much movement out of that, which, with the back and forth that's expected logically, and that's what played out, that's a lot of extra walking Flea's having to put in over the other runners.
Yeah, and the fact that hover boots are also in Spirit means that Flea can't get bailed out, like finding them and beating Shadow and that taking Flea back towards the strength 2 afterwards. So, like, Flea has to make a conscious decision to do the Composer torches, which I think is going to be really hard to get to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Flea's definitely been in a difficult position here. I can understand their desire to want to route in the most convenient skulls, and since a lot of Kokiri checks were done early and pushed sooner, to your point, that is a hard check to go back to later if you didn't get it on that Bomb of the Well trip.
Yeah, the only thing, like, influencing Flea to go back there is that Dins hasn't unlocked anything yet. I'm sure Flea's just hoping that it's Shadow Temple and waiting for the hovers, but might come a time where you're out of, like, progression and density, and then you go, okay, well, let's do this Dins check then.
Yeah. So in terms of new information, Vulcan Fire Temples, something we have not seen yet. We have seen Spirit done twice. We've seen Force done twice. And now we're going to see it done thrice. Because Flea's right behind Alpha.
I don't think Volk's found anything else outside of that gold scale.
Not yet.
Volk did just find the boss key. And I'm interested to see if Volk clears the rest of fire or just goes straight for the boss here.
It's a tough call. I could see him set wind here, maybe. And,
yeah, he's continuing.
Maybe think about it later. Yeah. Well, he could check Peek Pierre, and then... Yeah, it's a tough call, because this is definitely a place you don't want to come back to. And while we do have wind, sometimes you want to be less aggressive with wind. You know, you want to figure out what's most likely to give you the most value to come back to. Is clearing out all of fire up until Fire Maze and then setting wind really worth it?
Yeah, and Volk's wind is stuck in GTG. I don't think he really wants to get rid of it there. Right. So he's kind of just stuck clearing this dungeon now. And I think from Vol's perspective, it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, because again, he didn't get around to the hammer chest and GTG, so he doesn't have that piece of information. So he's just digging here for this path. Nice fall. I'm always too scared to do that jump. My friend was reminding me the other day that we did an archipelago together where I fell down Fire Temple not once, but twice. He's like, yeah, dude, you were like a Fire Temple for an hour. I'm like, yeah, well, shut up. It was late. I was tired. Leave me alone. Yeah. Yeah, so do you think, Hyper, from your experience, is required items a double-edged sword? Because you could potentially only have, one bow available, or do you think that it helps you more often with having that knowledge?
I think it helps more. Yeah, it kind of locks you out of places. So rather than getting baited into certain areas like stone dungeons, you just get a key locked out a lot of the time. And it's like, okay, well, now I don't have to full clear stone forests because I'm just locked out in the courtyard. And things like that. So I think it helps a lot more. There's less places to check.
Got it. I'm watching Volk closely right now because I was trying to backwalk this fire maze literally yesterday, and I kept messing it up, and I was like, shit, what the hell? What's the angle? There it is, though.
So,
I'll forget that
it's
later,
also a
but I
good
can watch
point.
it back later.
I hadn't actually thought about that our key wasn't hammerlocked, so what Volk's doing right now isn't actually hammerlocked either. So
No. Yeah, he might just be digging on this one. It could also be to the point that, like, he's still missing not only bow, but light arrows. So it might just
if the light arrows are here, like, that's awesome for Volk.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is not time lost now.
Oh,
Both wallets were behind long shot. You might be right with that, actually, yeah. But we did find a Goron tunic. I don't remember where we found that, though.
It was behind Silver Block and GTG. All the way at the end.
Okay, alright, that's not long shot locked.
Nope.
But Volk, again, doesn't know that. So...
Alright, so we're gonna see Volk not coming up with anything, jumping back down. Gonna see him defeat the boss. Where's Volk going next? Back to GTG?
Yeah, I think GTG from here makes sense. He's done all the progression dungeons he can. I'm not sure if Volk has dipped forests, so might dip courtyard.
Potentially, yeah.
But there's nothing in forest that is really pointing towards the bow. So I think we might see GTG.
Yeah. Alpha actually going straight into fire after forest. So just clearing him out now.
Mm.
You see Volk fight. But yeah, the pillar. I love the pillar drop. I love it when we can see it. Honestly, if you don't climb, you're never going to see it, but it is faster to drop it once you're up there than it is to save and reset.
Yeah, definitely.
It's cool and saves time, the best kind of thing.
Exactly.
There's our fish again. Thanks, Cola. Bro. In my notes, I wrote down Fortress check for HBA as Cola instead of Slingshot. What? Carpet Salesman's not randomized in these settings. He just sells shoes. Because isn't Carpet Salesman tied to Shop Sanity? Or am I crazy?
Expensive merchants he's tied to, so it's a separate setting as well.
Yeah. So that also includes Medigoron. The only time you see people go back to Medigoron is just to check the hint. They're not actually going back there for Medigoron. Play Saws.
Damn, no nuts on Volvage today. Just a bloopy.
Just a bloopy. So Fire Temple coming up pretty dry. Just to scale.
Yeah, that's gonna feel bad for Volk and a little bit confusing as well.
Playing Serenade, I guess he's just gonna say screw it's time to go to water? Wait, he doesn't have boots though, right?
Yeah. He didn't get the irons, no. So what's he doing?
No.
Oh, he got a gold scale from Fire Temple.
Oh no, dude. Don't do it. Oh wait, maybe he's just gonna go do fishing?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh no, he's going with the gold scale.
Doing? Oh yeah, of course.
Right. Okay, well, unfortunately he's gonna need the boots. Because boss key chest was... It was kind of late. It wasn't the compass, I lied. Wasn't it the...
was the compass?
No.
I don't know. I didn't even look at anyone in Water Temple.
It was the last thing. It was the last check Flea did before doing Dark Link Loop. That wasn't Central Pillar.
Oh.
It's like the one in the mid level. I forget the name of it.
Oh, the central bow target.
I think it's
one?
Central. I think it was Central Bow.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember. I've seen it twice, but like I've only seen it once they were already in the room, and Water Temple having like the same freaking rooms. I'm like, I don't remember which one it was. Shellblade. Well, was it the Shellblade room? All right. All right. So Cola is in Adult Goron City, going into Crater to do fire.
And yeah, so Cola still hasn't crossed the wasteland, so Cola might get baited into full clearing fire as well. Yeah, until Cola does Spirit, or has Cola done Spirit? Oh no, Cola has touched Spirit. Okay, I keep forgetting because I'm looking at the medallion and they don't have it, but that's because they got BK locked.
Right. Okay,
yeah, okay. So
he's in this
Cola's
room.
in glow mode, yeah.
Yeah, Flea couldn't get it because he didn't have bow the first time he came here. That was right. And he doesn't have magic for Dins.
Cola in a little bit of a dicey situation right now.
Oh, yeah, with that...
the clutch fairy.
Yeah, dude, fairy's cool.
That was sick.
It's fine. He's got it. He planned for it. He knew that was going to come up there.
Alright. Volk's in the right spot. So Volk's gonna find his bow and just bail, right? So Volk's gonna save time, actually. He's probably gonna bail from the rest of GTG.
As long as he bails, he'll save a lot of time here, because we, again, found nothing in here. Other than bow. And then Alpha just choosing to climb fire. We'll find boss key in here. We'll see if they go any further. I'm going to assume Cola is going to find key and immediately go back down to fight the boss.
Yeah, I think so. When you know you're getting a light arrow hint from Ganondorf, you just got to play aggressive and hope that the lights weren't like the next check along.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yo, what up?
People might just be rusty on that from coming off Season 8.
Yeah.
Yep, there's his bow.
There's that bow.
It's trailed by the slug immediately.
Makes sense to do this check as well, since you're right here.
Yeah, why not?
Alright,
Oh, you know what? He doesn't have irons.
He's got that gold scale and he found the boss key.
Yeah, so he's not going to worry about it, you think?
Yeah. Yeah. This makes sense.
Oh yeah, setting wind too, so if he has to come back here later, it's not a huge deal. Alright, so Flea's playing Minuet as Child. Is he gonna go check Zarya's on the Skull Kid? What are we doing here?
Fleas, yeah. Again, looking for this strength 2 that's locking the rest of the seed, so...
Yeah, that's pretty dastardly. We knew that it was bad that he ended up missing strength 2 in Composer's Grave. But yeah, not fighting that magic on 10 really, it's gonna have to feel bad later when he finishes the seed or when he finds where magic is. Because I get not playing aggressively for 20, but he's had more than 10 skulls for like 20 minutes now.
Yeah.
But again, I get it feels bad.
Yeah, the time to get it was when you did bottom of the well. So it's really hard to get back to those 10 skulls now.
All right, this might be our important item. It's a bow.
Oh, it's another bow.
Oh my goodness! So the Lost Woods major item was another bow.
That's so funny.
Yeah. We might end up in some sort of casino here now with lights. Interesting. I'm like, I was gonna check Dorino while I was here. Yeah, welcome to League. Again, if any of you want to play League Seeds, Mido's house has some practice stuff. We also got you can sign up for League 2. Don't you want to enter? It's 1v1s. You'll be set in a division appropriate for your skill level, ideally. Again, you're watching runners who will be... Oh, there's light arrows on Darunia. Oh, no! That's not hinted anywhere.
I don't think anyone was anywhere near that guess.
Nope. That's good for Flea, but I feel like because of the routing Flea's had to take, he's just really far behind Cola, Vulcan, Alpha right now.
It's not gonna
bring him back.
No, because they're just gonna get the hint and know exactly where to go. It's convenient for Flea that he wouldn't have to, but yeah.
Yep.
I mean, Flea is maybe heading in the right direction right now. Yeah, I was just saying, getting close to CAC. So I'm hoping that Flea can just continues down this trail towards CAC and can get the skulls.
Yeah, if Flea wasn't like reaching and basically doing last location for Strength 2 and Magic, I don't know when any of these runners would get back to that. Yeah, being stuck behind water too, it's rough. But as we were talking about League, they are 1v1s, and there are 8 different divisions. The runners you see here are likely be placed somewhere between divisions 1 and 3, which are where we have more seasoned experienced runners playing. Divisions closer to 8 are more, mid-level to newer experiences. So don't feel intimidated that you're going to sign up for something and get knocked out round 1 because you just got matched against Cola or something. So it's a good tournament to dip into, but go on.
Baseball, you can take the money and run, I think. No one was close. Mm-hmm. You run away with the money.
Pick the funniest one. So Flea finding Magic there on 10 skulls, probably not feeling good about that. But again, that's just difficult to route in when you didn't... Because Flea didn't have 10 skulls when they went to well. So they just had to get it later. Yeah, so we're gonna see Alpha get their boss key here for water. I'm hoping that they stay aggressive and just push the boss here. They're equipping wind, so I think they're gonna drop wind and go fight. Oh wait, they put wind up. Take it back to Warfront. Didn't even see that. Mm-hmm. There we go, good. Alright, so we're just gonna go push boss immediately. That's good. We have Cola fighting Fire Temple boss. Everyone's favorite dragon. And Flea's gonna go push into Shadow. Which, unfortunately, they did not go to Spirit yet, so they don't have their hovers. So they will get locked out of progressing further in Shadow, but they won't spend too much time here.
GG's, Oak. Alright, so Flea's getting closer. Like, Flea's in Shadow now, so pushing Din's checks. Mm-hmm. Which is good. So, what we want to see Flea do is play Nocturne again after this Shadow dip, and then Flea's okay.
Yeah. The scary thing would be if they decide to go back to Spirit right now. Or if they start to cross. Alpha playing Nocturne. Yeah, Cola with a really good Volvigia kill despite getting the troll hole.
Yeah, this is Alpha getting Requiem.
Right, Burning Cack. Setting up for the child visit for Bosky. And Color going immediately into Shadow. So, yeah, happy 2 hours. This is Zelda Speedruns, and this is the Kokiri Weekly. It's one of 4 scheduled weekly races that happen every week in the Ocarina of Time Randomizer community. The current settings for the weekly racings are the settings that will be for League 8, which is upcoming soon, as we've been talking about throughout the restream. Flea did find the strength too. Bless, Flea's good to go. But commenting with me today is Hyper, who has a race later today against Zabi in the losers finals of Season 8 standard rule set. So make sure to come back and check that out if you're awake, and if you're not, make sure to check it out later, either via the VOD here on Twitch in Zelda Speedruns or the Zelda Speedruns YouTube channel. We do also want to thank our trackers today, Tumble Talk and Baseball, who are pulling double duty, tracking all 4 runners with just the 2 of them. And we also want to thank Baseball for restreaming for us today. And of course, our runners who are sharing streams with us, which are Cola, Flea, Alpha, and Volk. Seen a lot of different perspectives and some different thought processes and routing when it comes to the league rule sets. This has been a really good demonstration of it, I believe. And I think the seed itself has been a good show. Not too fast, but definitely not a slow seed, I would say. What do you think, Hyper?
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's yeah, had a lot of variety in a couple of tricky locations, and that's helping extend the seed a little bit. It's nice for the seed to troll a little bit and shove the boss key on Child Spirit, so we're forced to go get Requiem. So yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, and I think we're in no mode at this point. The only thing that we're probably going to see is that we're going to see our runners maybe stretch for a few more checks, still being like where these light arrows at. But they're about to have Ganon's Castle entrance with 5 medallions as soon as Cola finishes Shadow, and as soon as Alpha finishes Spirit, we'll be at 5 completion there. And they'll go in, and they'll just go ask Ganondorf for the light arrows.
Yeah, so Alpha's got this. He's going to grab this child boss key in Spirit, and then he's going to go beat Shadow. Cola's beating Shadow first, and then he'll grab Requiem and grab that boss key in Child Spirit as well. So I think Cola's got the lead. Alpha looks like just slightly behind.
Yeah. Yeah, but this is really a great demonstration of how the different routing philosophies came out in the end, because we saw Cola, Flea, and Volk all take a very similar route in the beginning of this restream, while Alpha immediately committed to a longer Child 1 segment, and despite the differences, Alpha's sitting in a really good position.
Yeah. I don't think we saw it as well. Well, I didn't see it, but Alpha bought bomb shoes so that he could do this check, which is really smart.
Yeah, he bought them at a night shop and market, which is a very smart play considering Alpha hasn't run into one of the 2 slingshots we've seen.
Yeah.
Oh, rip. Just kidding. Oh no. Shit, he didn't get it. Alright, we're about to see Volk fight Phantom Ganon here in Forest Temple Basement. Flea's crossing for the first time, but they're all good to go there with Strength 2, Bow, Long Shot. Only thing they don't have yet is Hovers, but they'll find them in Spirit. And now Alpha playing Prelude to go back to Adult and finish up the remaining 2 dungeons. That Anubis sucks. It sure does. That room just sucks on Child side. It's not a hard room, it's just an annoying room. I don't know why you wouldn't want to say that out loud, Hyper. Right here. You don't have to type in chat, you're on comms. Go ahead, share with the class.
Damn, teacher caught me passing notes.
It's true. my teacher passing note story is in middle school. I sat between two girls who were friends, and they would have me pass notes every once in a while, and it was annoying and I hated it. But one time I did it during a substitute teacher's present. He caught me, and then he called me up to the front of the class and asked me in front of everybody if I liked that girl. Don't be that guy. Yeah. So, this is all known information we're looking at now. So, Hyper, any other thoughts that you have about League that you want to share? We've talked about some of the specific rule settings. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see the Jabu Jabu quality of life, where Rudo's on floor 1 that we talked about earlier. Is there any other quality of life that you want to bring up, maybe?
No, there's not really anything I can think of so much that we haven't already talked about. Like, there's some cool things we didn't get to see today, like Zelda seeds can happen a little bit more often in these settings. Like, you might get ZL locked in Ice Cavern or something cool like that. And you just play the whole seed without ZL, and it's just impossible to get. So things like that are really cool. You might see some players prefer to stay in Logic in these settings, just because there's the increased chance that some places are just never even accessible in the seed at all. Others still like to play a little bit aggressive though, and yeah, just nice quality of life. We're playing on the dev branch, so there's like some new cutscene skips and the new magic model that we saw and things like that. So yeah, I think it's really cool, really exciting to get started with a new set of settings and something different.
Yeah, and then League signups are open now, and then I think it starts at the end of the month.
I believe that's right. Yeah, towards the end of the month, signups. I think signups might close maybe next week.
Yeah,
baseball can confirm.
Baseball, yeah. See, baseball says I'm right. Yay! So it's always useful when you have one of the league organizers around. But then similarly, again, we've already mentioned it before. We have another Season 8 match later today, so check that out. We have, after that one, there is one Season 8 match left, which will be Grand Finals, which is best of 3 with the player coming in from winner's bracket, getting a 1-match advantage. So there's still a little bit of Season 8 left, so look forward to that. And then we still have other things happening here on ZeldaSpeedRuns, such as more weekly races potentially now, as the schedule's cleared up.
Yeah, there's a few tournaments wrapping up. So Season 8 obviously wrapping up. We've got our Master Quest dungeon getting into like the close to the final stages as well. So might pick up a few more restreams for that. And then League starting up and Multi-World starting up soon as well.
Yeah, and then the sister channel, the Silver Gauntlets, TSG, are getting close to finishing Challenge Cup. So that's also going on over there too. Also, very nice quick kill by Alpha on Twin Rova. That first phase wasn't too punishing. And then we have Flea working up spirits, finding all the good items in there, being like, wow, getting into spirit early was important. Damn.
Yeah, and Cola working on his dead hangs, so just building Link's muscle stats.
Yeah, what else do you do
just
when you're on carry?
Makes the Ganondorf fight a bit quicker if you build his muscle stats now.
Mm-hmm. Link's already has unstoppable stamina. Might as well just build up the finger strength too while you're at it. Well, disappointed that it looks like
with the fast shadow boat.
Fast shadow boat. I did see that setting was off. How does fast shadow boat differ? Like what, other than being faster?
Yeah, that's all it does. It's just the boat ride takes like less than 10 seconds, and then it's done.
Mm-hmm.
We can blame baseball for not enabling it this season.
Also, to baseball's point, Volk did just find Boomerang, by the way. So that's a good one. Yeah. You forgot Boomerang existed, but we've been joking about it the whole time. Oh, the fast boat. Yeah. I don't see fast boat on very often in many settings.
Yeah, it's a newer setting. I don't think it's been implemented in any tournament competitive settings yet. Hopefully we see it soon.
Everyone wants to go faster.
It is enabled for multi-world, so that's exciting. And TFB.
What's TFB for those acronym inclined?
Triforce Blitz, which this season they're also doing like a co-op style tournament for their season. So I believe it's kind of multi-world, but not. I don't know too much about it.
It's kind of multi-world, but not. That's a difficult way to describe it, but I think I get your drift. There you go. There's the Midas Housling. Thank you, baseball.
That was the perfect way to explain it for me.
I mean, baseball's not contesting it, so I assume it's accurate.
No.
Let's see how accurate Cola is on Bongo Bongo, though, here over the upper left. It's hard to miss with him big glowy eye, but those hands control you when trying to knock him out.
Cola not using the Din strat, which is always good to see.
Yeah? How often do you see the Din strat?
Only when I play. And the Din strat, for people that don't know, is you cast Dins, it does nothing, and you lose 10 seconds. It's good strat.
It's just tempting because it's there. I think my favorite way I've ever killed Darkling casually was I was just like, well, how long would it take me if I just only kill him using Din's Fire? And unfortunately, I had a lot of hearts, so I think I had to drink 3 green potions to do it. I'm like, there's nowhere ever where this is useful.
I had to do that one time because my Darkling like clipped out of bounds, and it was my only way to damage him.
The last thing that trolled me out of bounds was I was trying to blow open Harrow Castle Grotto Ferry, and I threw a bomb, and it did the oops. I slid between the boulder and the wall and out of bounds, and I'm like, that was my second to last bomb game. Why did you do this? So yeah, going back to resource management. Maybe don't yeet bombs if they have a tendency to not stay in the game world. All right, Cola grabbing Burning Cat for Requiem to go do Child Spirit side. Alpha already finishing Spirit, now working through Shadow.
Yeah, Alpha's pretty close to Cola, actually. Like, Cola's got to go grab Boss Key, age change again, go beat Twin Rover, which is a slow fight. Yeah, this is definitely not over between these two, I don't think.
No. If Alpha could go mode Shadow, he would make up a lot of time, but obviously he's going out and getting all the checks because he's still like, hey, where are these lights at?
Yeah, if Alpha's feeling a little bit spicy, he could go mode Shadow. At least maybe skip the back of Shadow. And in a weekly, like, some people do play to win, so it's a good play if you're playing to win.
Yeah. I think during these league settings, to your point with having the required setting on, you're going to see more people just saying, screw it, I'm going to go mode this, and then if it's here, I'll just come back here later.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to chat's point, Boomerang on light arrow cutscenes is always a good one. Volk on Twin Rova. Flea working through Spirit still.
Yeah, we've somehow managed a triple Spirit.
Mm-hmm. So Flea actually got a big chest drop there. Saw it. Oh.
Because Flea has lights, so Flea's actually in go mode.
That's true.
That's hilarious that Flea is the first one in go mode.
Yeah, I was like, oh, he just kind of said screw it. Oh, because he realized it's child locked. That's what it is. And so he's just like, I'm gone, bye. Flea I think knows at this point that given how everything was in Spirit and how late he got there and how late he got magic off 10s that he's behind. So he's probably trying to make up time here by he's not even opening stuff anymore. He's just trying to finish the seed.
Yep.
Cola got that Anubis.
I think that will help Flea close that time differential down a little bit. Just being able to go mode all these dungeons now. Doesn't have to drop FW in Ganon's Castle. Can just one-trip it. So it's definitely going to save back a few minutes in this endgame.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how he's close to the others.
Yeah, I still think lost too much time along the way, but it won't be as bad as we thought it might have been.
Yeah, I know. Light's not bailing him out, but saving some time here. For sure. Because now that we know where lights are, yeah, I think these runners are just going to opt to go get the hint and be like, and then have to go all the way back. And they still won't have Bolero to make the trip any shorter. Not that you can with Child, but whatever. Unless you play at the Bean. But then you still can't. Dude, Child and Creator sucks.
You gotta wait for 7 real life years. And then Child Link can ride the Bean.
Yeah. You have to age normally.
Just leave your PC running.
It's because he's not tall enough to ride the ride, not the growing part. He's just not tall enough. Yeah, traveling from Minuet's not too bad because you just go into Lost Woods and then go on City, but
we actually.
Bad.
Oh no, we don't. I was thinking Vanilla Spawn, but that's. I've been playing too many different game modes recently.
I know. I was just saying, like, don't just remember, you're not on League settings later. It's Season 8 standard.
If you see me checking scrubs and dungeon skulls, it's because I was playing multi-world yesterday.
They're going to be watching you on Restream, like on the commentary, and they're going to be seeing your tracker, and there's like, why is he marking important items? All right, here comes Twin Wover up for Cola here in the upper left. Ooh, getting cleaved by Iron Knuckle.
All right, well, this is big for Alpha. That might be a lead change.
Potentially.
It's a long way back to Rover.
When's the last time you saw somebody enable the hammer shortcut in Spirit Temple in a random?
Oh, honestly, I forgot that room even existed.
You gotta play more MQ, dude. That's the room in MQ. It is slow. It's super slow. I mean, usually you want to plan on not dying. So, like, why would you ever turn it on? It's just like have you ever seen someone so like, I'm activating it, screw it.
We, by the way, Alpha did skip the back of Shadow. So, Alpha's playing aggressive, and
I like it.
I think it might be a winning play.
It might be, we'll see. It's going to be really close now between Cola and Alpha.
Well, Bongo is definitely faster than Rover, so I think it's Alpha's to lose on Restream, and Alpha might even win this weekly race.
Yeah, I haven't been looking at the race room, so.
Oh yeah, and I guess we should mention that we've got 4 people on Restream, but I don't know how many people are actually in this race. I didn't check the race room for that.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we're focusing on these 4, but it'll be cool if we can get the winner on Restream as well.
Volk setting win in Ganon's right now. Gonna get that light arrow hint. Yeah, I feel like Volk almost just... Yeah. I feel like Volk just snuck up on us. I don't know, dude.
I wasn't even looking at Volk.
I've been watching Cole and Alpha, and then I'm like, Volk must have started playing aggressively when I wasn't looking.
Yeah. I just thought it was between Cola and Alpha, so I was just looking at that left side of the screen.
Yeah, right.
And Volk's just come out of nowhere.
Yeah, I guess Volk did Shadow and Fire very early because he was chasing the hammer in Fire and then Shadow earlier.
Yeah.
So he just already had that stuff done.
Yeah, I know Volk did Deep Fire, but he did skip like most of GTG, which saved him a lot of time.
Yeah. This is definitely a case of he just played aggressively in some situations, made up a ton of time, and then we didn't even realize it because we're watching 3 other racers, and we're like, Flea, please find magic and strength.
Yeah.
And they're like, damn, Cola and Alpha are like neck and neck, and they were like, oh, Volk's almost done.
I mean, this is, we've been so used to watching just 2 runners for so long.
Yeah.
It's so hard to watch 4.
I know. We're getting complacent. And then, yeah. Wow. I don't think any of the runners feel bad about having to go out to Daruna here, because they're probably all thinking like, okay, well, no one's would have checked this by now, except for, I guess, Flea.
I think some people might not have even touched Child Garden City until now, so...
That's always a place that's easy to orphan, and that's not an exception in League.
Yeah. But yeah, let's focus on Volk, because he's definitely in the lead, and yeah, looks like his race to lose.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a close finish between Alpha and Cola for sure, regardless.
Yeah.
Alpha with a little bit of lead here.
Between 3 of these, actually, like, they're only a few minutes behind Volk. Cola's only maybe a minute behind Alpha as well, so... Yeah,
we're going to see pretty simultaneous Ganon fight here from 3 of them.
Fleas beat Deku, yeah.
Yeah, that's where Hookshot was.
Yeah.
The only dungeon we didn't see at all today was Jabu.
Sad. Maybe we'll get some Jabu later today, or tonight, or tomorrow. Depending on your time zone.
In Losers Finals, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to see some Jabu?
Oh, I love a bit of Jabu action.
Oh, yeah? We want to see Big Chungus and Jabu?
I can't guarantee that.
Sure, you don't know where Zavi's gonna go. He'll just appear behind you.
It would be great if I could make the Rudo model Chungus, so I can carry Chungus on my head.
Take a little bit extra work, but...
Someone make that happen, please.
Please. Can you replace the Rudo model with a box, please? Thank you. And then replace all the boxes with Rudo. Thank you.
That'd be so good.
Gotta carry a box, and then Rudo's just sitting everywhere. Buff box, nerf Rudo. That's the meta.
And then you don't box skip, you Rudo skip.
Yep. Alright, Volk back in Ganon's. Got the light arrows. Everyone get hyped for a Ganon fight. Pretty strong lead. Would have to do something silly to mess this one up. Like maybe losing jump slash. Again, place Rudos with a barrel, so wooden barrel as a barrel carries a barrel. You could.
That would be great.
Yeah, if you replace Rudo with a barrel, then I would request that you replace the Stoner Medallion model with a Rudo, so Barrel picks up Rudo, and then gets abducted by Octo. Everything's just a little off in Jabu. It's kind of like Masterclass Jabu, but like just a little bit weirder. Good Ganondorf kill by Volk.
Very nice. You'll see another change in this scene transition here. The camera is now lined up straight ahead. So you just go straight forward. Yeah, it's a really nice change, but it's like building that muscle memory now is yeah, it takes a bit of getting used to.
Oh, sure. It's like thank you, but damn.
Yep. But yeah, it's a really nice change. You don't have to worry about scuffed camera angle and a little bit of the cutscenes removed, so Yeah, much nicer.
Mm-hmm.
All these quality of life things.
Yeah, I guess Alpha didn't get out to Chowgoron Cities. He's checking Test of Courage right now with Hot Rodder, and now he's going to go check Darunia, but interesting.
Yeah, I think the only person that did was Flea.
Make Rudo a Pepsi can.
I feel like Rudo would be a Pepsi Max.
Replace Rudo with Hylian Loach. Oh, thank goodness you saved my daughter and sister. Hylian Loach.
Listen, what KZ gets up to on a Friday night, that's his business.
They're fish, it's fine. They're all fish people. Alright, Alpha now gonna go back to Adult and then head back into Ganon's Tower. We're about to GG here for Volk though, everyone get ready. Oh damn. There we go. So about 2 hours, 26 minutes, and 26 seconds.
And that's is first place in the weekly as well. GG's Volk. Wow.
GG. That was an exciting league seed.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was almost a 230, which is definitely on the longer side of league seeds. Not the longest. It wasn't AD, but definitely above the average time, I would say.
Yeah. I've definitely been looking at some of the practice race rooms, and they definitely are trending closer to 2 hours most of the time. There have been some that pushed 3. For either just, different runners or just silly settings or something, but yeah, definitely probably one that would trend higher once we get further into the league season and start seeing some of the division matches. I will be curious to see what the division averages are by the end of the season, like, how fast Division 1 finished versus Division 8 or something.
Yeah, and that's the best thing about League is, like, we're talking about, like, these finish times, and we're talking for, like, players that are going to be seated in much higher divisions. So whatever your finish times are, it's pretty common that everyone else in your division, those average times are around the same ballpark as you. That's the really good thing about League. It's a nice introduction to 1v1 matches with people of your own skill level.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've was talking / listening to Chuckles, who's one of the league organizers. Not that everyone doesn't already know who Chuckles is, but he was talking about division placements and how people may or may not be placed based on the skill level. And right now, the greatest challenge with League is finding actually who to put in Division 8, because there's so many strong runners that have come up through the communities over the years. It's really hard to be like, damn, everyone in here looks like they'd be Division 4 or higher. I just really gotta restrict Division 1 to, like, previous champs, and maybe Division 8 just for people who don't have experience in a competitive setting or something. So you're likely to be placed with pretty similar skill levels as Hyper's talking about. But yeah, the bottleneck in the seed was definitely real. Difficult to do the seed much faster than this. Yeah, just surprised Volk coming out of nowhere to finish, just the routing ending up, well, like, it didn't look pretty at the beginning because of the hammer chase that was going on. Ended up being very fast.
Yeah, I think really the only time Volk could have saved on that was not full clearing fire. Everything else seems like it was pretty smooth sailing.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like a lot of seeds end up that way too with League. There's been a few seeds I did where it's like, after an hour, you're like, between the hints and what the game's giving you, you're like, oh, okay, I think I know how it wants to go. And it usually falls in that way until it doesn't with, like, in this case, light arrows.
Yeah. As Alpha's just about to finish up as well. Looking like a second place finish, maybe?
Potentially. Bot will let us know. And Cola getting in again, too, so I'm going to check Cola out.
There it is.
Yep.
GG's Alpha.
230 flat. Wow.
Damn. Nice.
That's again a good time for this seed. I could definitely see maybe more mid-skill range runners getting closer to the 3-hour mark, given how these runners are just barely pushing 230 on this one. And Fleet, who's an excellent runner who had a really good Season 8, got tripped up on this seed. So
great result for Alpha. He's
absolutely.
He's a fellow nut on Volvage gamer.
Okay. How many of there are you? I need to know.
There's
for census data. 3 of you, okay.
3 of us.
There's 3 of you.
Fellow Volvage enthusiast. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, I've definitely been some of the league seeds I've been watching have been on Alpha stream. He ends up streaming around the times where I'm actually around to watch.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been hanging out in there. And then GG to Cola.
GG's.
Third place is 231.19. Yeah, those are all very close. And pretty nuts we got first, second, and third all on Restream. That's
that's cool.
Pretty impressive. So that very exciting weekly restream. We're excited to see more weekly restreams in the future. And excited to see more of League coming up this month. And I think the weekly settings will likely be League for a little bit. Looks like Cola's going to come in for an interview, though. GG, Cola.
Yo.
GG.
Yeah.
So, what do you think of this League seed?
It was mostly just do everything except for Jabu, I guess. I don't know. I guess you could have skipped the dongos, but I don't know about that one.
Right. How do you feel about league settings? We've been talking about them a lot, so how did you feel about them in the context of the seed? Anything stand out to you?
I kinda do like them, but there's nothing much to talk about in this particular seed because it's just very straightforward in my opinion.
Yeah, it seemed to pretty much lead you directly where you needed to go. Flea had a road bump as they did not check the 10 skulls item on the way to Well. They didn't have 10 Skulltulas at that point, so they didn't find magic for a long time, which then put them off from finding Strength 2. But otherwise, that didn't really trip up you, Volk, or Alpha, who are on Restream here. But what do you think of the major item hints, as opposed to that being foolish?
I really like those hints. They are very nice to play around. Like, if you find Hyrule Field 1, then that basically means there's just the song, right? That's pretty cool, for example. And CAC with 6 items here was pretty neat as well, because you could actually tell that 20 skulls and the archery had nothing. Mm-hmm. Which is why you saw me stop at 10 skulls, because I figured out that my 6 items are already fulfilled.
Yeah,
that's what we were saying. Sorry, I was just gonna say that's what we were saying earlier on Restream. Like those hint types kind of act like foolish hints, but they give information off as well. So you kind of know where to go, and then, like you said, you can then treat CAC as dead once you've found those 6 items. So yeah, it's a cool hint type. I like it as well.
Mm-hmm. So we were talking about the seed in particular, though, and it does feel a little bit on the slower side as Hyper's been doing some of these league seedings and feels that, the averages for runners like you and Hyper will likely be closer to like hour and a half, a lot more sub 2s.
Oh, I don't know about hour and a half, but
yeah,
around 2
hour and a half
hours.
Would be a chat. Yeah. 2 hours. 2 hours
Listen,
seems
you guys
like
are fast.
The average, and yeah. Some like the crazy fast speeds would be an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Right. For this seed, though, let's talk about it a little bit more. For the path hints, how do you feel about the path hints this seed? It feels like the bottom of the well with Din's Fire and Graveyard were all really interesting paths, and then that hook shot on King Zora.
Yeah, I only had 3 of the path hints, which is Deku, then bottom of the wall, and Graveyard. I didn't have any other, so no. The graveyard was just the strength 2, I guess. So, or alternatively bomb bag, like whichever.
Yeah, we figured it was strength 2 because one of the other path hints, we didn't see all 5, I believe, but the other one we saw was Zor's Domain, which ended up being the long shot, which we figured was into Crossing Spirit for the hammer to back to GTG for bow. But somebody did get around to checking Lost Woods with Saria's, and there was a second bow on Skull Kid.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that Lost Woods item that I didn't have yet, and whether I should go for it or not, but I decided against it.
And that was definitely the play. Welcome in, Alpha. GG.
Yo, GG.
GG's.
Yeah, so you two ended up having a really close race, finishing within about a minute of each other. Pretty straightforward seed overall. Sounds
My mic
like
working now?
Now
Yeah.
it is.
Okay, sorry. Thanks for the GGs.
No.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Did anything stand out to you this seed, Alpha? You've been doing a lot of league practices.
The hints were pretty interesting. They weren't as cut and dry as like some other normal seeds, but I thought it made it interesting at least. The graveyard hint scared. Once I saw strength 2 where it was, I was like, oh, I'm probably very behind right now, but I don't know.
Yeah, compared to the other runners, you actually had the longest child 1. You stayed child for like more than twice as long than the other 3 did. They all opted to go to adult sooner. So your path divergence happened really soon, but you ended up coming back to be pretty much in line with everybody else by then, which was really impressive.
Yeah, the way it worked out for me was I was pretty much just go-moding dungeon after dungeon and until I could go get the light arrow hint. And at that point...
Did you, like, skip the back of Shadow and stuff?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't have the balls to skip the back of Shadow when I don't have light arrows.
We were talking about that in like being a weekly, like it might be the play for the win. We weren't sure who was in front between you two, but then Coley, you took that death on Naburu.
Yeah, that might have definitely taken the lead off me.
Yeah, so with like, okay, Alpha's taken the lead here, and then we like weren't even looking at Volk's stream. Like we thought it was between you two, and then Volk was first at ITC, and we're like, oh, Volk's here. So yeah.
Yeah, we were. No, go on.
I was just gonna say, I think the difference between Volk and you guys was Volk didn't touch GTG before Spirit, so GTG was much later for Volk, which meant as soon as Volk went right side GTG when he came back and was able to bail as soon as he found the bow, so saved a bit of time there.
Oh, okay, that makes sense then.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then he never went back for Iron Boots either. He just did Gold Scale, Water Temple, and then just got the key out of Shellblade Room and just finished it up. So he was actually able to play pretty aggressively in the seed. The only part where he got tripped up is when he did find Hammer and Spirit. He chased the Hammer path hint for a long time, so like he went back to go do Fire and like climbed all of Fire. But other than that, he was able to play pretty aggressively and skip a lot.
Yeah, makes sense.
Mm-hmm. We asked Cole about this earlier. Oh no, go on. Hyper.
Yeah, so no, you go. I got my question after.
Oh, we asked Cole about how he felt about league settings. So how do you feel about league settings, Alpha? What are your thoughts? Like, do you like the some important major item hints? What do you like, dislike about it?
I'm more of a fan of all locations reachable personally. I like kind of doing the off-the-wall plays and not get super punished for them, but I like League. I have no issues with League. The important hints are definitely different, but I think, in a way, I think they're just straight up stronger than Barons. So, I like.
They do seem to give you more information. Yeah. All right, go ahead, Hyper.
Yeah, I was just gonna like get both your thoughts on the key rings, like because that's a fairly new setting that we haven't seen much in standard racing. So combined with beatable only, what do you think about keyrings for dungeons?
It definitely makes the dungeons a lot stronger. Like,
Yeah. Agreed.
they are much more of a priority to go there quickly.
Initially, like, I had played with keyrings, like, I don't know, a year and a half ago, just with some friends of mine, and I did not like keyrings. I hated the idea of them. Even when they were announced for League, I'm like, I'm gonna hate this. But then I actually started playing it, and there's been a lot of really interesting, like, scenarios that can come up that you wouldn't usually think of, so I enjoyed it. I like them.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Yeah, either way, you both played excellent this seed, and again, you took very different routes early on and stayed on different tracks most of the time, but you came back, so it was a really good demonstration for anybody who is new to seeing the League seeds execute and wondering how they played out, as a lot of people were asking questions about it. But again, if this inspired any of you all, just sign up or check out League. There's some information in the chat, so make sure you check it out. Hyper, is there anything else you want to ask our runners? Because I know it's getting late here.
Yeah.
I'm sure Baseball wants to go get a snack or something.
I got a question for Alpha.
All right, let's
What's
hear
what's your favorite boss, and what's your favorite item on that boss?
God.
Probably Bavagia is my favorite boss, and Hyper. Why are you doing this to me? And then I guess my favorite item is, a Deku Nut.
And that's
So what
when
you're saying is
Trez
nothing
banned
callback.
Hyper from comms. All right, well,
Yeah, dude.
again, make sure to come by later, everybody, for the race between Hyper and Zavi, and maybe his Fulvigia nut jokes might come back to bite him in the butt on that one. But I think we're going to hand it off to Baseball. Maybe. She's thinking about
Maybe.
it.
I'm
Or we might
here.
just watch
Sorry.
Flea finish.
I'm here. Flea is gonna finish in like, I don't know how long. 5 minutes?
That's 6 minutes. 5 minutes, 6
6
minutes,
minutes.
yeah.
I don't know if you want to wait.
No, we can hang out. We can
For
hang
him?
out if we want to.
I mean, yeah, if you want us to.
It's
I
up
have
to
more
you.
questions.
I'm happy to hang. Let's
The
hang.
runners, Alpha and Cola, can leave if they want, of course. Comms are forced to stay.
Damn.
Just kidding.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna mute again. Good luck.
Well, talking about this seed though, let's see. Yeah, I guess it was pretty straightforward. I guess one thing that came up that we could talk about, which it's not really new, but obviously Child Goron City had light arrows. Child Goron City is often easy to orphan. One thing about these settings and the quality of life is Scarecrow Song's free. But it seemed like everybody this time made a good concerted effort to get out to Child Fishing. But how often are you all actually going to make it out to Child Fishing if you don't have Serenade already?
I mean, it depends on if I can route it in efficiently. Here was just my way to get to Kokiri Forest, so that's
That
what it
was
is.
I actually skipped it. That's one of the skips I did. So, but I did the same thing Cola just said. That was my way to Kiri.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if any of you had the Hyrule Field important check hint at that stage, so we were saying that was definitely like the most optimal way to go, but then you get that hint and you know that the checks are dead.
Right,
I didn't have the hint at the time, so I just did all the grottos. But it's fine, there's hints there and stuff, so,
Yeah, it's an opportunity to get information at the very least. And then I'm assuming both of you have already signed up for League and are looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would be lame if I wouldn't play as the League champion, right?
Yeah,
wow.
Cole's defending
True.
champ.
Dang.
You got to give people the opportunity to dethrone you, at the very least.
Yeah, I think it would actually be lame if I didn't sign up.
Do you think it'd be lame if Hyper didn't play Big Chungus against Zavi later?
I mean, that's this decision. I didn't play any models as well in S8, so I'm not one to talk.
Fair. What about you, Hyper?
This is peer pressure. I'm not commenting.
You're not commenting? Okay, Alpha.
Sorry, what was the question? Would I play
Should
as Big
Hyper
Chungus?
Zavi's challenging Hyper to do Big Chungus with him?
Oh, come on, Hyper, you got to do it. or are you saving that for multi-world?
Do you really want a restream of Losers Bracket Final where we both can't Mito skip for 5 minutes?
I mean, that has nothing to do with the model, right?
True. You can't Mito skip.
Yeah, Zavi, you're right. Zavi just sucks. That's true.
Yeah, exactly.
Play the model that's most opposite to Big Chungus. Pepsi Man?
No, the prelude. The prelude note.
Oh. Hopefully having a good Ganondorf fight so far. I'm glad we're not distracting him. That's right, he didn't find BGS. He's got Hammer, he'll be fine. Why start with Prelude when you can start as Prelude? Why not both? Double down on the Prelude. Getting into Spirit Temple early was pretty big, huh? That kind of had everything.
It was loaded. Yeah, that was pretty much go mode or no mode for most people. Surprisingly, except for Volk. Like, if it kind of, for Volk, it just gave him more things to worry about for where his bow could be.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't find the bow from GTG, it's gonna be a bit harder.
Did anyone find another bow?
Yeah, it was
Skull Kid.
Skull Kid with Saria's in Lostwood. That was the one major item there. So your bow's either GTG or behind Water Temple completion. So there wasn't a nice bow. Alright, Flea's gonna get Ganon now. And yeah, we already talked about go watch the race, go sign up, get excited for League again. I think sign-up's closed to what Hyper mentioned last week, and is baseball confirmed. League starts the end of this month. You're going to see Cola there. You're going to see Alpha there. Likely see Vulcan Fleet too. They're all going to be digging it out. Upper divisions, playing each other. We're going to ban Hyper to Division 9. He's going to race himself. It's because of the Volvagia slander. I'm putting you down there. I'm going to tell Chuckles to do it.
That's fair.
And GG to Flea.
GG.
Oh yeah, and then thanks again for sharing your restreams with us, Alpha and Cola. Again, it was a very fun and exciting race to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks for putting the effort into the restream.
Of course, we love doing the restream when we can. All right, now maybe I'll give it to baseball.
Yeah, I was going to say we may get a quick interview from Flea, but wait for baseball to see.
Flea will not be joining us for an interview today.
All right.
So this is it. Thank you, Hyper and Rito, for letting Flea finish on Restream.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you to Okishi for getting destroyed in chat by me earlier. Thank you to Tom for tracking with me today. Of course, Alpha, Flea, Volk, Cola, thank you all so much for sharing your streams with us today. And yeah, join us at 5 a.m. Eastern. Much better time in Australia and EU for Hyper versus Zavi right here. I will not be here. I will be in bed. But you will have Okishi and Chuckles on comms, and Tobias is restreaming. So it should be a good time. Best of luck to you, Hyper. Please don't play as Big Chungus, please.
All right, I'll listen to baseball.
Thank you.
All right, baseball's the boss.
Yeah. I'm gonna send us over to Kill the Sheikah. She's playing some Ocarina of Time combo rando. So I hope you enjoy that, and we will see you in some amount of hours. 8 hours. Okay. Bye.